Peace, y'all. What's up? This your boy Eru, host of the Dynamics podcast. Rockin' solo today, doing the regular Dynamic stuff. But I do have a guest. I got my man Cully. It's been a long time coming. Me and him should have been did a podcast together, man. Let me just pop him up in here without further ado. What's good, man?
Yo, what it do, man?
So what I want to know, what took this so long? What took so long for you to get on the show with me, man?
One word, man. I could just say timing.
Yeah.
Just time. You know what's funny too? When you, like lately, when you in State Beyond, man, I be coming home from school. I go to school in the city. I be on the train. I don't know service. I can't say nothing, man. I can't even watch the show how I want to, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's the grind of New York City, man. Like right now, I literally just came in the crib, did something with the kids, whatever. Next thing you know, I'm sitting here and I'm talking to you. That's how it always goes.
Yes, that's the New York life, yo. It's like you never sleep. New
Yeah.
York.
Yeah, shout out to State, man. State, he does it from work. He's actually working in between shifts and between assignments and stuff like that. He comes on and talk 3-4 hours while while he's getting paid. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, that's what motivated me when I first seen y'all going on, man. That's what motivated me because I'm in school for I don't know what he does. I guess nurse. I don't know what he does, but I'm in school for that for surgical. So it's like it's motivational. I be seeing him in the scrubs. I'm like, yo, that's what's up. His homie got on scrubs. I'm like, that's what's up, yo. Still at work in the emergency room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the clerk's desk, just live with it, man. That's dope, man. Talking about Knicks. It's like everybody in New York has a job. We all working. We doing something. We have a grind. We have some type of grind.
Yeah.
That's what
You know,
New
shout
York.
out shout out to all the Knicks content creators out there, because there's not really many out there from New York. Everybody's from out of state. So out of state, you just tend to have more time. The cost of living is a little different. There's not really nothing to do. So guys just have time to be out there doing podcasts. But just for us, it's a little bit different. That's why, I keep mines as like, low budget as possible. You know what I'm saying? Just for my own sanity. You know what I'm saying? But I enjoy it. I know you enjoy it too, man. Like I said, it's been too long, but waiting for you, waiting to get this together, man.
And
So,
salute Annuity 25. Salute Geraldine. I hope all is well with y'all. Geraldine is a day one, right? I remember you said that before.
yeah, Geraldine, she been rocking with me from for a long ass time, man. Shout
Yeah,
out to everybody, because these guys are on everybody's show, always contributing. It's very important for the culture. I say, this is my podcast. You got your own thing going on, but outside, people in the comments, people on Twitter, and all this other stuff. This is all a part of the culture. We got to eliminate, the demons, the freaking ESPNs and stuff like that. Even though I'm gonna show a clip a little later from ESPN Radio, but
we
it
all
is what it
together.
is.
We all together.
Yeah, we gotta
We all
look out for each other.
This is like therapy, because I remember, prior to this, when I was listening to Michael K. What's that? ESPN? Was it
Yeah.
98.7? I think I can't remember, but that's what I was listening to every time. Michael K. That's how I got my Knicks news, and I got to YouTube, and now here I am.
Yep. Shout out to Michael K. But he's the reason why I started the podcast, because I was on his show and it was doing the Colin Kaepernick stuff.
Right,
So
right, right.
I actually like said something to him on Twitter or whatever, and he responded back to me. And then he goes live on air and blows me up on live on the air. So I'm like, what the fuck? So he didn't like what I said. I'm not gonna get into that type of stuff, but
Sure.
he was really like on the other side of it. Like
Right.
I was for what Colin Kaepernick is doing, but he didn't get it, so he was on the other side of it. So he was really pissed off, man. So after
Right.
that, I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna support this cat, and
Right.
I need to put my own shit out and see what comes up with it.
Right. Now you did well, man. Look where you made it, man. See the
Yeah,
growth. You
still
know.
grinding.
Still
Respect
grinding.
to Freezy, respect to what's the name, Simeon Russell. Nothing but Knicks and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Salute to all the content creators out there and stuff. So what's up with your show? You got a show on Freezy, right? What time you
Yes,
usually do that?
we got the Knicks at night, as you know. Was 11 on Thursdays? 11 on Thursdays. We was doing Tuesdays, but it got tiring. It's so late. I come home, we're tired. My man Sub, my co-host, he got kids. We're tired. You know what I mean? I don't mind doing it, but just for the sake of everybody else, we're tired. This is a big week, for Knicks. It's like it's either we end up on the good side of history or the bad. So it's like we're a lot of us have anxiety. A lot of us want to make the right move. Free agency right after the draft is free agency. We just want to see this team get better, as fast as possible. It's like we feel like we feel like we're old one. We feel like
Yeah,
we
yeah,
feel entitled to some winning over here in New York at this point.
Yeah, it's so weird that like the last 20 years, and so like Knicks fans are still feel like, oh, they owe us. They need to give us that fourth pick. They need to do this. They need to do that. They really don't owe us nothing, man. We haven't done shit for ourselves like up
Right,
until now, you know?
right, right. Yeah, I feel like it's after that. I hate to say it, man. I hate to go off topic somewhat, but I mean it's still on topic. But I feel like it's after ever since that Ewing finger roll. I feel like it's like Knicks fans feel like nah, we got to run that back. We got to do that over. Because if Ewing could have did that over, he would have probably dunked it. So it's like we feel like we should have got back there numerous times or something. And it's like we just never see. We seen it again in I think '99 against the Spurs, but no, that was it, man. 20 years, 2 decades, man.
Yeah.
You know,
That's the heart of the, New York though, man. Running back, you know?
run it back,
When you play basketball, like you lose, yo, man, run it back.
run it
Nah,
back.
man, I got next, man. Fuck that, run it back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Like
you got next after next. We got to run this back. You know what I'm saying?
right, you can't go out after. You can't go out like that. Yeah, like nah. You ain't just don't understand me. I'm sure he understands now, but nah, we can't go out like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
Ero, let me ask you. All the time I watch your show, um, who was one of your favorite guys like coming up, like when you was a youngin that played for the
Like as far as Knicks or just any player.
well first Knicks and then you can tell me just any player like
Well, for me, like I used to like growing up, I used to like love Rod Strickland. With my younger self, I'm older. You know what I'm saying? So I can't talk shit about I'll bust your ass. I haven't bust nobody ass in 20 years. You know what I'm saying? But when I was really playing, man, I used to emulate my whole game after Rod Strickland.
right.
So everything was like every time I drove the lane, it was always way up. Dare you to block it. If you try to block it, I come down and up, that type of stuff. I used to like to pass the ball and whatever. But I used to love that freaking dude, man. Him and Nick Van Exel was another guy. I should just like the point guards, man.
I'm about to say you like the point guards. Okay, they
Yeah.
have a similar game too. Yeah, Nick Van Exel, he was very shifty and he's very kind of like the same, especially when he would attack the rim. He's kind of like the same with that, just left-handed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rod Strickland. That's dope. Okay, yeah.
And just the vibe too, like me, I'm a chill dude, man. But once I get on the court, it's a different story. So I used to like to, you like to have fun and get out there and make a pass. I'm like, oh, going crazy, whatever. But guys like the chirp, I don't do the chirping stuff. I never do the chirping stuff.
No, it's New York. That's what it is. It's New York shit. It's always gonna happen. I'm the same way. I'm laid back. If somebody brings that at me, I'm like, all right, now I'm about to. Me and this dude, we just gonna go at it. Because I like to chill. I like to go in there, just have fun, play ball, and here go dudes. Oh, he's soft, man. He weak. He a burger. You know what I'm saying? It's New York shit, yo. And I'm like, all right, now I'm about to start violating. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm about to start getting into dude. You know what I mean?
Well, let me tell you a story. Like I broke my teeth when I was like in third grade. Something with my cousins and stuff. But I fixed them mad times. But every time after that I broke them again, it was through the basketball. Something to do with the basketball. So the last time I was in my I want to say like my early 20s, and
Right.
playing in the tournament, whatever. Some guy was talking or whatever, and the second we was really going crazy. A little bit too extra, a little bit out of my character a little bit. So anyway, I drove down the lane. Next thing you know, I catch a freaking elbow, bam, right into the TV, and the same thing. So ever since then, I just left it like that. That's like it's like me throwing
Like
my shoes on the telephone pole kind of thing.
a landmark type. I don't know how to say like a trademark type.
Yeah,
Yeah, signature. Yeah, I get you.
yeah, almost like a tattoo. Just to
Yeah, it's
yeah.
a battle scar.
So what about you? What do you who's your favorite player, or who did you pair in your game after if you played and all that?
It's funny. I like so many guys, man. Growing up for me, I'm a '90s baby. I know that's after you.
Yeah,
Not to be funny when I say that, but come on. But
yeah,
I like AI. I always like AI. I like T Mac. I like Melo. So guys, somewhat like them. But my game, I'm more of a shooter. I'm like more of a shooter. I could take you off the dribble a little bit. So kind of like, Clay in the later years. Um, Cause but you know what it is. When I played ball, I always played every position, but more so like so. I just watch guys, but the guy I would say the closest I came to emulating guys might have been like a guard, like the guards mixed with the wings. Like I liked Melo, so I would practice the little jab step, the one dribble pull up, one dribble pull up to the right. I practiced T Mac when he kick his foot out, when he would shoot, kick his foot out all the way.
yeah,
Certain stuff. I always watched them. I watched them heavy. I would watch those highlights heavy because it's like I was so in love with basketball, which I still am. So those were kind of like my guys. T Mac, AI, Melo. Those are like my guys right there.
yeah. How
Growing up,
tall are
yeah,
you?
I like a lot of players, but like but I feel like my game is more comparable probably to today's like Clay. I'm more of a spot up shooter. I'll probably take you off. You close out on me, I'll probably blow right by you. Things like that.
Okay. So you're still playing? You're still actively playing basketball?
I ain't playing 2 years, man. I guess that's part of the age. Getting up in age, you stop. You get busier with life. You don't get to play no more. You still have a little bit of game. You still watch the game, but you don't get to play it. You can't find time to play it. You know, it's funny. Not to go off topic. I run at the park by my house all the time, and there's always the kids are always playing. They're always playing ball. The youngins. And I always want to ask them like, could I run? But I'm like, let me just leave it alone. Let me get in shape on the track first. Get my stamina up. Get myself in shape because they'll embarrass me. The youngins will embarrass me. I don't got time to go at it with them right now, man.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. The older that you get, like you realize, it's like riding the bike almost, man. You can get on the court and it just comes back to you. You know, it's like you said, it's really just about the stamina, that type of thing. But the
Right.
game itself, like that shit never leaves you, man.
Well, yeah,
You know?
the competitive doesn't leave you. It's just the physical. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The physically, you might not have the legs to keep up no more, stuff like that. You may get tired faster. Yeah, the stamina, but you
Yeah.
love the game.
So you might see my fat ass playing 1v1 versus what's his name, Tony from MBK, because they they're doing their get together shit. So like the next day after the draft, they're gonna have like a get together basketball thing. So
I
they've
heard
been challenging me a little bit. So I heard them talking about it. So I guess they're gonna line me up to do 1v1 with Tony.
Yo, that's funny. Me and Sub was talking about that. My co-host, we was talking about what if we had a whole league with the channels versus the channels, like us
We
versus
should.
NBA and us versus Legion, all them guys. Everybody get on the court, just do the 1v1s. I mean, like, that'd be dope. But yeah,
We should. I mean, summertime is here. Like especially the New Yorkers. At least the New York, New Jerseys, and whatever. We can get together somewhere and just play ball.
right. That'd be dope, man. That'd be fucking dope.
Yeah, maybe a 2-on-2, 3-on-3 tournament or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, I know State ain't shit, man. Motherfucker, he's a young boy too, but he's getting to that age, in his early 30s where he's like trying to get his shit together.
Yeah, I think we about the same age. 31.
Yeah.
I just turned 31 last week. Yeah. So I think we're in that range somewhere. I can't remember, but
Right. So what came first with you, man? Hip hop or basketball? Which one came first?
that's a good ass question, yo. That's a good ass question. So I started playing ball at 7, right? It was actually with my niece. We had a family gathering, like a family reunion over here in Queens, and we went to the park to play ball. And I remember she kept telling me, that was my first time. So she would just tell me, she's like, yo, I'm gonna give you the ball, just pass it back fast. And she as soon as I got the ball, she's like, yo, pass it back. I pass it, she make the shot. I'm like, wow. And it's funny because that's where I started shit talking. I remember I shit talk this dude bigger than me. Let me tell you, I talked shit to this dude bigger than me and older than me. I was like, I said we're gonna win, we're gonna beat y'all. He walked right up to me. He walked up to me like Terminator, like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He just walked right up to me and was like, you say he got all of my face and everything. I'm like, whoa. I was scared at the time. I was a kid. He just got in my face. I was like, yo, I forgot what I said. I was just scared though. But that was my first time. So that was at 7. It might have been basketball, because I attribute me loving music to my older brother. My brother, he's 41. Everything Wu-Tang, DMX, Nas, one of my favorite rappers. He got me into the music heavy. So probably basketball and then music, then hip hop.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you mentioned Nas or whatever. So and your big brother, but like eras. Basketball it got eras too. Like you got the 80s era, 90s era.
Right.
I mentioned the guy. I mentioned Rod Strickland. And whatever you mentioned certain things. So what's your favorite era? What's your favorite style as far as like hip hop, whatever? What's your sound?
I would say early 2000s. But being that I do music, because as you know, I do music too. I would say, in my lane, I'd say like J. Cole, Drake-ish type of lane. Like that's my lane, kind of Kendrick. I'm kind of like with them. I mean, I'm not popular. I'm not popping right now, but I would say I'm in their, I'm in their lane. But my favorite era, yeah, like the early 2000s. I think Ludacris was still out. DMX. That's when New York kind of still had its grasp on the hip hop. They lost it in like 04, 05. The South kind of like is big with hip hop now. So, but I would say like, yeah, like I even like 50 Cent. 50 Cent's one of my guys. DMX was one of my guys. Yeah, so early 2000s when we was wearing jerseys and baggy tees and baggy jeans, kind of like that was my favorite era. That's like the era that makes me the most emotional.
Yeah.
When I see a video on TV, I get sad.
Well, that's parallel with basketball too, because you mentioned Allen Iverson and T Mac. That's the same generation.
You think of guys like Bow Wow, guys that play ball, Master P, his son Romeo, like that, shit like that. The
Yeah, no
MTV
doubt.
Cribs era, yeah. Allen Iverson, yeah. Allen Iverson was he was hip hopish. That's when, and you're right. You're right. You know what? See, I hate to go off topic, man, but it's funny how me and you get up and we chop it. It makes me think of. You ever saw the Lenny Cook documentary?
Yeah.
It makes me think of that. Like okay, Lenny Cook played ball too, but he was from New York, and he came up. He would have if he followed the right blueprint, he would have came into the league the same time as LeBron and Melo. But see, him being from New York at the time when hip hop was big in New York, it was bigger in New York. He was cool with a lot of rappers from New York. There's a lot of rappers. So he was hanging out with them. If I'm not mistaken, I think he was. Let me not assume, but I think he was hanging out with them a lot on
He was
his off.
hanging out with everybody that he shouldn't have been hanging out with.
It was lit to him. It was new. It was new to him. Like, damn, I'm meeting people. I'm good in ball. That's what comes with it. Some people get distracted. It's distractions in New York. Distractions when you're in the cities like that. So he was meeting a lot of people. It's kind of like that. Yeah, it's kind of like that. Like basically like athletes hanging out with rappers kind of thing. That's what it was.
Yeah. Well, throughout history, like I'm throw like Pee Wee Kirkland and Lenny Cook, they basically kind of the same thing. Except Pee Wee was literally in the streets selling drugs and this, that, and the other. So he's hanging out with that era, that era of people, the R&B guys, all those big, artists of the time. Same thing with Lenny Cook, out hanging out with those different guys. So he chose the lifestyle that was more like, fun to him, lucrative in his mind, but forgot about the task at hand, because I mean, Pee Wee Kirkland could be in the record books right now. We could be talking about him as one of the greatest point guards or whatever of all time. Same thing with Lenny Cook. But just the New York vibe or whatever. It's just that we're so big. When shit is going down, like for a player to say like even like a what's the dude he came from the Dominican Republic. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He played for St. John's. I keep thinking of some different name, but you know what I'm talking about.
Something Lopez, I think it was. Felipe Lopez?
Felipe Lopez, there you go.
Felipe Lopez, yeah.
So Felipe Lopez, like through word of mouth, people knew who he was, from Dominican Republic. They knew who he was. And then just that lifestyle, like I remember that. He was a little older than me. So I remember he was like a fucking rock star. We didn't have no social media, but everybody knew his movements. Everybody knew that, what was happening. So it just a vibe, man. And I think the same thing with him. Like he like just peaked like at 18. He peaked at 18 and then he got drafted and just fizzled out.
Went to St. John's?
Yeah, he went to St. John's. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's just the New York lifestyle, man.
No, that's so true. It's so many. That's what's good about being. That's what I love about being from New York. It's so many. It's a lot of Lenny Cooks out there. A lot of Felipe Lopez out there. A lot of stories. And it's not just us. You have, Chicago. You have some other places where I think they get so sunken up into the streets. But not all of them get sunken up into the streets. Sometimes it's just the hype. It could be an injury. Could be other things. They mess up their draft stock, and it's just they never get that chance again. There's so many things, but it's good stories. Like my favorite, one of my episodes I like from you. You did it recently. I didn't even know about the guy until I heard you bring him up again. Shaheen Holloway from Queens. Right. You know what I'm saying? I heard you bring it up. I'm like, oh shit! Like I forgot all about Shaheen. Anyway, we went to Rutgers, right? Rutgers was Seton Hall.
Seton Hall. Yep.
Yeah, and you brought up a good point. Like it's kind of like in comparison to what the Knicks have now, like with Thibodeau, a disciplinarian coach. Oh. You were young and you crossed up one of the veterans. Go sit in the corner. Go learn your lesson. Go sit in the corner and don't come out until the practice is over. Kind of like loving basketball. When Sanaa Lathan shot the shot, she kept her hand like this. And the coach said, "Now you know what? You stand right here for an hour, just like that, with your hand like this." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Showing off, they call it. But it's just the dog in you. It's just Shaheen Holloway was a dog from New York. He just when you tell us we have to go get it, like when Tibbs says, "Oh, guys have to work hard in practice." When you tell a New Yorker that. They're gonna try to embarrass you. They're gonna try to show you out. You got some guys just have their dog in them.
Yeah, guys be like, listen, I'm Shaheen Holloway. I done bust all these guys already in the park already. I already know how good I am compared to them. You Tom Thibodeau, I don't know who the fuck you are. You know what I'm saying? You're the one that needs to work hard. You need me to work hard so you could look good. That's the whole thing with Tom Thibodeau.
Right.
And guys like Tom Thibodeau and stuff like that.
Yeah, Thibodeau, man, he's something else, man.
Yeah,
he's something else. I'm sure we'll get to that eventually.
Yeah, we'll definitely get into it. Well, I want to play some music, man, because I mean, this part is about you, man. Because like I said, we should have been did something. It's weird. It's weird, like with this internet stuff, because it's like I don't know you from nothing, man. But for some reason, I got a connection with you. You know what I'm saying? We kick it offline. and whatever. But this is like the first time we speaking, but it's like we spoke all the time.
But yeah, we spoke plenty of times. Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
a supporter, man. I'm a fan of the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt.
I'm a fan of the show that has my own show.
Yeah, but listen, I'm a fan of you too, man. I'm a fan of your music. I'm a fan of the vibe, everything that you got going on and shit, man. So I want people to hear this verse from this Christmas song. You did this is a J Boogie song, but Papa left and you were on it too. I think you had to stand out.
Boogie and Papa left. Shout out them two guys, man.
Yeah, shout out to Papa left. Papa left is crazy. Jay Boogie, I like what Jay Boogie's doing. He kind of reminds me of like a PG MOP or something like that.
Yo, he reminds me of somebody from D Block, but I just can't. I don't know who, man. It's not. I don't. It's one of them. He remind me. You know what it is? He don't remind me of none of them, but he comes off like he could be a D Block member.
Yeah.
Or somebody like Head Ice. Head Ice, battle rap Head Ice. Reminds me of somebody like him.
He got like that presence, he's like the James Evans, the freaking the Knicks culture and stuff like that. But shout out to him. I never met him, never talked to him or whatever. But same thing. I just like his like what he's doing, man. It's good.
Right. Yeah, Jay Boogie, he goes hard for the Knicks. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let me play a little of this real quick before we get to the next thing.
No doubt.
Come on, live TV.
When you can see the snowfall, their red nose, tell them that it's Rudolph. Chestnuts roasting, the Knicks stay roasting. Tell the whole league we hosting.
Something wrong with your TV screen. If that orange and blue ain't playing on that red and that green. Favorite players, yeah, but Knicks stay forever the team. Shout out the upstairs, trying to play chess with the team going forward. They're making sure the squad is in order. They know we hated on by all opposing reporters. It's torture. New Yorkers, we built for fourth quarters. Show up to the court or prepare for a slaughter. They want to hate on the Knicks. Tell me what that's doing. Get that stuff out of here. Shout out to Pat Ewing. 12 noon jump ball. Just know we enemies. We trying to bring home the gold back from the 70s. Oh yeah, we back on Christmas. Oh no, can it be? Only us Knicks fans know the whole New York energy. If you ain't know what type of tension this is, Knicks Nation, we'll see y'all on Christmas.
Best time of the year.
Yes. Yeah, I like that a lot, man. I like that a lot. Definitely. There's another joint you had too. I couldn't find it. I didn't have time to hit you up, but I like it, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you for playing that too, man. Thank you, man. I like that song, man. I started playing it more and more now.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. You got the good flow and stuff like that, but you're talking about the Knicks. So when you listening to the song, you forget that you listen to a basketball song. That's what I like about it.
Right, Jay Boogie. I like the beat too, man. Jay Boogie picked a good beat. It caught me off guard, kind of.
Yeah.
I like the more and more I listen to it, I like the concept of it. And me being a Knicks fan, my whole family knows I'm a Knicks fan, so it's like,
Yeah, man. Got good talent there, man. Hopefully, just be encouraged, keep doing it. I know you're doing your stuff as far as school and stuff, but just like like you always have time to do your things, little side stuff that you love to do. Never lose it,
Oh yeah, for sure. I appreciate you, man. Yes, for sure. I try not to, man. I'm trying not to. Now I'll never give up music though. I love music too much,
Yeah, me too. But I used to do music. Everybody says that. Oh, I used to be there. I should do this, that, the other. I used to be one of those guys too. But
right.
the problem with me, what makes me not a good artist is I can't remember shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'll write something, you're supposed to remember it to freestyle or whatever. I'll forget the freestyle. So it's like, I could never be like a good rapper, you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Yeah. But let's get back onto some Knicks stuff, man. So I'm gonna play that this Alan Hahn clip. He's basically talking about Kyrie Irving, So everyone, it's just weird. Before I play it, it's weird. What do you think about Kyrie Irving before we I play that?
I like the guy's skill. He's very skilled. I watched him over the years. He about the same. It's funny because when he got drafted, I said to myself, I'm like, damn, I'm getting old. And he got drafted in 2011. So it's like, was it 2012? Well, yeah, 2011. So it's like, I look at him like, so I've been watching him and I'm like, I see he got more and more as the years went on. He got more and more stuff going on with him, but he's very skilled. He's one of those guys like listen, man, I'm nice. And he's one of those guys that just gives you the impression he's going to clash with every coach he runs into. Like, look, I'm nice. I want to do it this way, F your way. He's one. But now as far as the Knicks, I'm sorry. So let me get right to the point. As far as the Knicks, if they make the move for him, depending on what they give up, I won't be too opposed to it. I will be honest. Because I will say one last thing I want to say before you play the clip. My thing is, if a year ago when Colin Sexton rumors was big, if you said we should get Colin Sexton, then you should not have a problem with us getting Kyrie, because they're very similar, except one has more experience and one is, a little bit better than the other. He's better than the other, but
Right.
they're both scorers. They're both dogs. They tunnel vision. They looking to score, and that's it. They looking to push. That's it. So that's one thing I'm gonna say.
Well, my energy is the same as Alan Hahn's. So, I'm not, rather than give you my response, I'm gonna just let Alan Hahn talk, for a minute and whatever. And just his energy in this video, I know you saw it already, but just his energy.
I saw a little bit. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, just his energy is exactly where I'm coming from with it, because like New York's thing is like for me, I just have this thing, like I'm from New York, so fuck you, straight, straight like that, I don't care what you got to say, just like, however cool you think you are, I could be whatever you think that I am, but I'm from New York, so fuck you, and plus I'm from Brooklyn, so even fuck you twice, you know what I'm saying, fuck you harder. Yeah, but anyway, this let me put this on real quick.
There's a player right now who is acting like he's got leverage. Once again, Ian Begley said sources close to Kyrie's side. So this is all from him. This is not a Nets putting it out there.
Yeah.
This is not a Knicks putting it out there. This is not the Lakers putting it out there. This is off the player who thinks he's got leverage. And I'm here to tell you, he doesn't. So the idea that they're at an impasse, which means the Nets are telling him, we're giving you a very protected deal that saves us from you.
Right.
And you're going to have to take it. And he's saying, hell no, I'm not signing that unless it's a fully guaranteed what I'm worth. And the Nets are saying, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
So now, okay, well, we're going to go public and we're going to tell you that there's other teams that would want me and you're going to lose me for nothing. And one of those teams doesn't have any cap space.
It's the
and
Knicks.
the other team has no way to get you. So where the whole thing is a bunch of BS. It's a bunch of garbage.
Yeah.
It's superficial. It shows you how out of touch he is and his side is about his value and who wants him.
His world is flat. I don't know why you're surprised.
I'm telling you right
world
now,
is flat.
there's no leverage for him. None. He's trying to manufacture it through the media. And I can't stand when somebody doesn't stop for a minute and think, there's no way that can
I'm not
happen.
reporting that. Yeah, I'm not.
Like, I'm not saying that. Like, I'm not saying that without first checking. Like, you guys in on the Kyrie? Because I can tell you make that one call. It's like, yeah, you could say we are just to screw the Nets, but not really.
Yeah.
Like this is superficial. It's made up. So that's where you are. But
yeah, so that's my energy basically. All everything that he said, but except I will be throwing a lot more F-bombs and things of that nature.
Yeah,
I'm not on ESPN. You know what I'm saying?
He wanted to say that. He wanted to drop some F-bombs. You could tell his face was red a little bit.
Yeah, you can see his pupils dilating and stuff like that.
Yeah, right. Yo, I like that energy from Alan Hand. I like that, being that he covered the Knicks for so long. Now I like that energy. No, so he said there's one of them teams don't have cap space. Was he talking about us or the Lakers?
Yeah, he's talking about us. But in fact, he's talking about both teams. One team, like the Knicks, have assets to get them. But it's not really good assets. We got draft capital, but we got a bunch of useless veterans that we could trade over there. Or maybe if they want Julius Randle, and Fournier. Julius Randle, Fournier, and some draft picks is not necessarily a bad deal for Kyrie.
Right. It's not. Especially with the shit he comes with the baggage he comes with. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just roster building too. Like you could slide Durant back to the 3. You could put Julius Randle at the 4 again. And then you could just build that way because they got Ben Simmons still. So Ben Simmons will be the point guard. Then they'll just revamp what they're trying to do over there.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, that's funny. You reminded me. Yeah, they got Ben Simmons, so it's not, so they may lose a point guard, but now they have one with a fresh start. So, yeah.
Yeah, they got shooters too. They got that white dude too, the one that hurt his ankle. I keep forgetting his name.
Not James. No, I don't know. Oh, Dragic. Goran Dragic? No.
The other dude. I can't think of money's name. See, this is not the Die Hard Nets podcast. You know what I'm saying? But let me see. I know I got a picture of him. Somebody in the chat might put him up here, but he's right there, number 12.
Is that Joe Harris? I can't remember.
Yeah, Joe Harris. There you go.
Joe Harris. Okay.
So you slide Joe Harris there at the 2. You got Ben Simmons at point. You got Julius at the 4. Durant at the 3, and whoever you want to put at the center.
Whoever you want to put at the 5, yeah, that's a good effing squad, man. That's a good fucking squad. Yeah, technically on paper, but if it could work, it'll be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
And the other
what-
team is the Lakers. Of course, he's fighting to get on the Lakers. He wants to go to the Lakers.
So you think he wants to go to Lakers?
I don't know. What do you think? What do you think he wants to go?
You know what's funny with him, with a guy like him, you never know what the fuck this guy's thinking, yo. You don't know what's in his head. You don't know what's in his head. He's just so random with it. He takes these breaks, doesn't play. I don't know what it is. I know it was the vaccine and certain things like that. And he had his sister's party. That was last year. With him, you never know, yo. You never know what's in this guy's head. He'll just pop up and he'll pop up, say some shit, and it'll be in the media for like a week or two. And then it dies down eventually. But it's like what the? It's like, but everybody knows. You know what gravitates people towards him to want to listen. And with the thing with Kyrie, he's skilled, so that's why he gets that attention. If he was trash, I don't think he'd get no attention. He's very effing skilled, very skilled. He has that clutch factor. So it's like a team could kind of use that in a sense. Some teams are probably staying away, but teams will want him. Teams will want him because he has that clutch factor in him. He is skilled. Right. And thinking about it, there's maybe it might be 3 teams in the league with no point guards. Us, I think the Wizards, and there's one more team. I just keep forgetting who they are. But there's 3 teams without him, and we're one of them. And we need a point. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't be too opposed to it. I wouldn't be crazy about it, though. But the Knicks, it's like Jay Boogie said it on Freezy's show this morning. He said the Knicks always end up, when the season's over, the Knicks are like the hottest topic. And it's like, okay, somebody becomes available. A few guys may become available. And it's like the Knicks, what do you do? A guy may say, oh, what's your preferable destination? They may throw the Knicks name out there. They throw the Knicks out there. Oh, the Knicks are one of the suitors. Oh, the Heat, Miami, Brooklyn. They may throw those teams out there. Knicks are one of the teams. So then it becomes a thing. Oh, shit, Knicks, what y'all going to do? What we going to do? We don't have a point guard. You going to try to make a move? Sometimes we make a move. Sometimes we don't try. I like when the Knicks at least try.
Yeah.
Because when you try, because I feel like, look, if you try, you offer a team 3 guys, 3 players, and a draft pick, they say no, then it's like, okay, the next time you make an offer, you might have to switch it up or you might have to spice it up. You may have to add somebody else or you may have to take one out and put another in. So it's different things. I mean, Leon Rose, he seems like he's new at this. I don't trust that guy for shit. That's just me.
Yeah, I don't trust nobody, man. I'll tell you the truth.
Nobody in the organization. I don't trust Dolan. Even if Dolan handed me $1 million right now, I still wouldn't trust him. Would I take it? Yeah. But would I trust him? No.
Yeah. You don't trust that guy right to your left there on the bottom with the yellow guitar? You don't trust him?
Are you talking about Dolan?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sitting here looking for a guy to yell. No, I don't trust that guy, man. The owner? Hell no, man. I don't think I trust. There's only one guy I trust. I said this on Freezy's show yesterday, and some people agree with me, some people didn't. Only guy I trust is Walt Parent, man.
Yeah.
Guy that has experience with maybe drafting and scouting. That's about it. I don't think I trust anybody. Maybe Wesley could pull some strings. Worldwide West maybe he could pull some strings. I don't know, man. I really don't know. Because you know what it is? I don't mean to talk so much evil. My bad.
No, I mean, that's why I got you here, man. I want to hear you talk. This is like, you got to get the bars off, all the bars that you should have been having all this time, they coming on the show.
Right. So, with a guy like Worldwide West, what it is, when we first signed him, right, which was in 2020, the COVID year, shit like that. When we first got him, I always thought, I said, who the fuck are these guys? So my thing was, okay, they're cool they have connections, which we've been told. A lot of people that was in the Knicks brass, Knicks front office had connections. My thing is, maybe they can. Then again, I don't know. I was gonna say when it comes to making a trade, the thing is like Donovan Mitchell, for example. They may have a good relationship with Donovan Mitchell. However, you have to go through his employer to get him. His employer is gonna treat you like shit. That's just the business side of things. It's business. Donovan Mitchell I'm gonna tell you another story after this. Donovan Mitchell may be cool with Worldwide West. He may have a drink with him. You see he was hanging out with Quickly, right? Was it last week, a week ago?
Yeah.
I forgot what it was. Was it the bowling alley? I forgot. I can't remember.
Quickly's all over the place, man. He's like what do you want to call he's like a Rat Pack dude. He's
right.
Like, everybody's entourage.
Taxi cabs. They probably was in New York, Ubers together, doing all types of shit in New York, hanging out. Yeah. Probably went to get drinks, wherever the fuck they went. And they may be very close. They may hang out. That doesn't mean Donovan Mitchell is guaranteed to come here. Now, if he was a free agent, maybe he could say, I'll work out a deal. Maybe Dolan will take care of Donovan Mitchell in the future. He may say, okay, I want this much. I'll take the deal to come to New York. Cool. he's not a free agent right now. He has about, I think, maybe 3 or 4 years on his contract. I can't really remember. I know he signed an extension. I think it was last season. I can't remember. But he signed the extension, so it's like you have to go through his employer to get him. You know what I mean? And that shit is not. It's not. The Knicks are like one of the richest organizations in the league. Teams are not looking to help us out. You know, I see them trying to make them. I'm gonna get to that soon. I see them trying to make a move. To move up in the draft. I'm gonna get to that. Let me just tell you one story. So, I used to do Uber, right? I did Uber for about, I think maybe 4 years, maybe 3 years. So, one day I picked this dude up. There's a guy and his wife or his girlfriend or whatever. So he's talking to me. He's like, "Hey, what you think of?" I think this was when Donovan Mitchell first got drafted. I think it was 2018. I think it's like going into the end of his rookie. I can't remember. He's like, "What you think of Donovan Mitchell?" I'm like, "I like him. He's cool." He's like, "What you think of Trey Burke?" I'm like, "I like him too." That's when the Knicks just got Trey Burke. So I'm like, "I like Trey Burke. You know, he's cool." So he's drunk and all that shit, right? So he shows me his phone. He's like, "Look at this." He got Donovan Mitchell's number. So he's telling me, he's like, "Yo, I used to work for the Utah Jazz." He tells me I used to work in the front office. He used to work in the front office. He's like, "I drafted Trey Burke." He's like, "I drafted Donovan Mitchell too." That's what he told me. He's like, "I drafted those two guys." So I'm like, "Really? What's up?" So he shows me Trey Burke's number. He shows me Donovan Mitchell's number, and I think he shows me whoever the owner of the Jazz is. He shows me that at the time. So I hear him and his wife laughing, or him and I hear them laughing in the back, right? Like 2 minutes. So she's like, "No, babe, don't show him that. Don't show him that." So he's like, "Come on. He won't give a shit." So he's like, "Hey, Chris, look at this." He shows me his phone. It's Dolan's number. He shows me Dolan's number with his face next to it and everything. I'm like, wow, that's funny. So he knew, he had, you know how that goes. They have everybody's number. They could, if they want to call them, easy, just like that. And I was just like that. I just wanted to say that, but I was like, wow. So this guy has Dolan's number just like that. At the time, I wish I could have told him all types. Call this guy. Let's get this guy right. Call him on the phone right now. But I just wanted to say that. That's all.
I mean, that's some New York shit, man. You don't. You just like in New York, as you run into like homeless people, and have the same conversation that you would have with somebody like this,
Right.
Yeah.
Like so that,
you was talking about Perrin and World Wide West. Don't they look like they give the best hugs?
the best,
You know what I'm saying? I think Walter Perrin, he looked like he could give a really good hug, man.
The best corporate hugs. Yeah. Best corporate hugs, yeah.
But you're right about that. Corporate hugs, like that. That's the reason why all these guys are here. They're here to schmooze. To make those connections. World Wide West to this day, I don't know what the fuck he did all this time.
Before you finish, you don't hear any feedback coming off me, do you?
No, not really. Just typical feedback.
I had my fan on, that's why I was a little hot up here. But yeah, so go ahead, my fault. Go ahead.
Yeah, just making those connections and stuff like that.
Right.
Like to this day, I don't know what World Wide West was doing for a living this whole time. I don't know if he was selling drugs or what the fuck he was doing. To me, somebody named World Wide West, you selling drugs. You selling some kind of drug.
Yeah, he reminds me of a calmer Jay Prince, man. I know you know who Jay Prince is.
Yeah.
He reminds me of him, just a guy that smiles a little bit more.
Yeah, he's always in the mix of everything. Every fight, even the Malice of the Palace, he was just there. And he pulled Ron Artest away and stuff like. How is he there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, hopefully these guys can do some magic for us, man. So I mean,
waiting for it, man.
I'm waiting for it too. So what's most important to you? Like what magic do you want to see happen? Is it going to be through draft? Is it going to be through trades, or is it going to be a combination of both? Free agency? What do you want to see the magic happen?
I'm expecting it to happen more so through the draft. I'm not expecting nothing in free agency. But I mean, one day maybe I could wake up and see something that the Knicks signed so-and-so. I looked at free agency already. I did my homework. I got to do some more homework on it. But I looked at guys that I like. I got to separate guys that I like from guys that maybe the team may need more, or guys that other people may like. But I'm looking forward more to summer league. But I'm expecting magic in the draft. Maybe some trade options, some trade up options. But I'm not getting too excited for it. But free agency, I see it seems a little subpar. It seems a little weak. I'm not looking for nothing for trade deadline. So that's about it. Just pretty much the draft, and the draft is in 2 days. That's pretty much it. I'm not really looking for nothing. I learned with this team, being a fan for so many years, I can't expect too much. I don't want to get my hopes up. It hurts me because I don't give a fuck about no other team. I don't care about no other team. I don't care what other team has the superstars. There's players I like. I don't give a shit about no other team. I just care about my Knicks, and that's it.
Yeah.
Diehard loyal fan to the Knicks. Hence the name, Diehard Knicks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Yo, shout out to Knicks fans Brazil, because they basically said the same thing you said. I had him on the show the other day. You know, they're speaking in broken English. You know, he's trying his best because there's no Knicks fans in Brazil and shit. You know, so he wants to communicate with us. But he basically said the same thing that you said. Both of them said it. That they was like, yo, I'm not cheering for his team just because they got the star player or because they won the championship or because it's the cool thing. I like the Knicks for whatever reasons, whatever. So I just want to enjoy my team. I want to see them build. I want to do that. I'm not worried about the draft. I just want to see summer league. I just want to see the Knicks. Period. They basically really the same exact thing that you said. So that's the blueprint to being a Knicks fan, man. We all connected, like you into Marvel comics and stuff.
Like the Avengers.
Yeah, like the Avengers and stuff. Like say like Venom, right? Venom. They say that all the Venoms are connected through like the hive mind and stuff like that.
Symbiotes, yeah.
Yeah, the symbiotes. So I feel like the Knicks are like the orange and blue symbiotes, Knicks fans, and we all connected with the hive mind and shit.
Right. Yo, it's funny. You're right though. You're definitely right. There's people that live in other states that they do like the Knicks. They like the Knicks history. Not to go off topic. I have a friend from Chicago, and I lost a bet to him, and I owe that man $100. I'm gonna say it now. I owe him $100. I still owe him. I got him, and the bet was that Knicks would have a better record than Chicago this season, and of course, obviously, I lost that bet, and yeah, but he loves the Knicks. He likes he likes the 90s Knicks. He likes New York. He likes the origins of it. He likes the hip hop, everything about it. And yeah, like I said, I lost that bet. I owe him. I like the history of the Bulls. He's he's from Chicago. He's a diehard Chicago dude. He sticks by his team. So yeah, that is true though. Like my man Eru said, yeah, there's people that from other states that there's dudes in Georgia that love the Knicks. I see them on other channels. They argue with us all the time. Not really, it's friendly arguments, not personal, but yeah. So, they like, yeah, I have my team, but I want to see the Knicks do good too. It's like, damn, why I couldn't win this game? I see it all the time, man.
Yeah, people from Chicago are the best, man. I can think of my man's name. So the older you get, you forget shit, man. But most people from Chicago, I got a guy that actually was supposed to be doing this podcast with me. I always say that to him if he's watching, because he's supposed to be next to me, whatever when we started. But he actually spent a lot of his youth in Chicago, and it's just the vibe of Chicago. They just like they want to see themselves win. They got pride in themselves, but they also like to look and show love. Like showing love in Chicago, that's like a thing. They like love and respect. A lot of gang life over there, but they live by gang stuff, So the way that they see the game and the way that they see life is just, it's like gang stuff, like a lot of respect. So they respect us over here. They know our history. They know our street ball. They got pride in their guys.
I was about to say a big basketball state too. Yeah, big basketball state.
Yeah, definitely.
A lot of guys from Chicago that's in the league. Right.
Well, let me throw this at you. Golden State Warriors. I'm quite sure you got like an alert today. They were saying that they might be wanting to trade that 28th pick because of the salary cap reasons. Because these guys, they're gonna have to pay, Jordan Poole. They might have to pay Wiggins too.
Right.
And they already paid Clay. They already paid Draymond. So the money, where's the money coming from? So they're gonna have to start making moves and stuff. So let me ask this. I'll put the roster up in a second. Let me ask you this: Would you trade the 11th? Let's say if we can't get Jaden Ivey and we can't make no sexy trade or nothing like that, would you try to trade with Golden State to pick up like a Kuminga or something like that?
So when you say that, do you mean like they'll give us a pick with a player? You mean like that type of situation?
Well, that's a big conversation, because like I said, they got to pay everybody. So Kuminga, like if you're gonna pay this guy, that guy, maybe Kuminga might not be in the cards anymore. So maybe they might want to get rid of some of these guys at the bottom, just for that reason, and maybe take a pick, or maybe take a second round pick, or maybe take some I'm just throwing bullshit to the thing, but
it's funny because I'm looking at the names. They may get rid of a Damian Lee. They may keep a Gary Payton. Kuminga, they may let him go. They may say, F it, let him go. They may want to compete some more. I like him. You know what? That's funny. Kuminga wouldn't be bad. He's a forward. He's a 3. He's a wing. He actually wouldn't be bad. But the Knicks, I've seen talks of the Knicks wanting to trade Cam Reddish, possibly throwing him in a deal for Detroit or the Kings. They might throw him in there. It's looking like it's getting closer and closer day by day, every minute. I don't know. I'm not gonna say I wouldn't be. You know what? That's another thing I wouldn't say I wouldn't be opposed to it. I know they can't go over the cap no more, so I know they got to pay Wiggins. I guess they just did, or they will. You know, did you see the video of Jordan Poole and Wiggins? And Jordan Poole said you're gonna bag. I'm sure you saw that one. Yeah.
I know. I mean, the owner probably was just like, you know, rolling his eyes at that point. Oh fuck, I do gotta pay these guys. Forgot about that.
Guys' paychecks, right?
Yeah. Look at his money, man. 45 mil for Curry. You got 37 for Thompson. You know, Wiggins making 30. Draymond's making 24.
Wow.
That's a lot of bread, man.
Okay, I see the age, 32, 20. Wow, Wiggins is only 27. Fuck. Wow.
Yo, it seemed like Wiggins been in the league forever, right?
Yeah, he got drafted, I think, the same year as Randle, man. To be honest with you, yeah, same year. 20, was that 2013, 20? Yeah, that was a big draft. Jabari Parker and them, Zach LaVine.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you see the blue Wiseman is the team option. You know, Kuminga's making $5 million. You got Moses Moody's there, 3. You know, some of these guys, maybe you could package them up and maybe take on like a contract that they can just waive. But if they do that, then taking on that 11 pick would help. So I mean, like a guy like Kuminga, everyone says the Knicks need to get a wing. We need to get some athletic wings. Kuminga's that guy.
He's a scoring wing. He's very talented. Yeah, he's pretty. And I will say with the minutes he has, I'm not gonna hype it up and gaslight it, but the minutes he has been, pretty well. He's played pretty well. Him and Moses Moody, they both played pretty well, man. And with the little minutes they got in the playoffs, let me see. Somebody said in the comments, Warriors ain't giving up Kuminga. They might. And shout out to my guys in the chat, Kareem, C-Mac, Guard the Knicks, my man Tone Wu, Illmatics, Keyshawn, Knicks 2026. Yeah, salute. They might give up a Kuminga, man. They won. It's not like he contributed fully. The Warriors might want to compete, and whatever it is, business. Whatever sheds some type of money where they're more flexible, they'll do it, and they're gonna do it this off season. I'm pretty sure they're gonna do it. They're gonna do it like in the next week. I guess free agency is when they make that deal, right? Or the draft, maybe the draft.
Yeah, well, some trades have been happening recently. A couple of days ago, I think we had like 2 trades, whatever.
Oh, yeah, you went on your rant about the Nuggets, right?
Yeah, man.
Yo, I tried to listen to it, but so your thing was why couldn't the Knicks get involved? That was your thing.
With what the
Nuggets? Was it Nuggets OKC?
I forgot I forgot which trade it was.
I think it was. The Nuggets traded JaMychal Green, I think, and
that was one of them. Well, I forgot who I was talking about, but it just I just feel like the Knicks they just need to pick a direction. You know what I'm saying? Like these teams are drawing lines in the sand. They're saying that, okay, well, listen, we got this going on, but I'm gonna just get rid of this guy, and then now as soon as they do it, now you just see like the red carpet just came out. You just, okay, now I see the direction these guys are going. Okay, this is what they're thinking. But the Knicks, we're just sitting here. We got young guys, we got old guys. We got Julius Randle, we got draft picks. It's like, what are we doing here? What's going on? And we got Tom Thibodeau as the coach. So like, what is the plan here? What are we getting at? What are we trying to do?
Right, the car's on neutral, man. The car's on neutral. The car's idle. It's not moving. Yeah, we need to pick a direction and go. Yes, I can agree. I think that's the most frustrating as a Knicks fan. That is probably the most hurtful thing right now. Go young or try to win now. Of course, I'm with go young. That's me. Because with what we got now, we can't run it back. We clearly can't run it back.
Right.
The
thing with that, we had the opportunity. Let's say, we had the dude that went to Dallas. What's his name?
Bullock.
Yeah, we had Bullock. So I mean, Bullock was basically Julius Randle's right hand.
Right.
Every time Julius was fighting, he was standing right there. So we were playing tough, defensive minded and stuff like that. So we should have doubled down on that. But instead we went and got Kemba Walker and we got Fournier. So we went in a different direction again. Instead of just sticking to our guns the way Tom Thibodeau wanted to play, grind it out. Play a lot of minutes, play defense, and possession. Everything is we barely turned the ball over.
Right.
So we should have just doubled down on that.
And that's where I will say they went wrong. And I like Fournier, but I mean, I have my guys that I would have gotten, You know, what did they pay Fournier? 80 mil or 75 mil? Somewhere like that, right?
Yeah.
For 3 to 4 years. See, I would have gotten a Kelly Oubre. I don't know how you feel about him. I would have gotten a Gary Trent, a Norman Powell. These are guys that I look at more as Tibbs guys. I mean, that's just me. I don't know if Tibbs would like them. I would think he would. But I did hear that he liked Norman Powell. But you know, a guy like them three, Gary Trent, Norman Powell, like these are guys that are a little more faster than Fournier. You see every time Gary Trent plays Fournier, he busts his ass, lights him up. So you know, a guy like him, a guy like Fournier, a guy like Oubre, these guys, they're good defensively. They probably could have. Kelly Oubre, I'm not going to say he would have filled that void, but I think he would have been a guy to have Julius's back. You know, every time Julius was getting ready to get into somebody's face, or I think Kelly Oubre would have been right there. I mean, I would think Kelly Oubre's been in some shit too. You know, he's been in some stuff too. You know, I would think these guys would have brought into Tibbs' system. I don't know what Tibbs' system is, but I'm sure defensively they would have brought in. These guys would have played defense with no problem. Tibbs would have gave them lots of minutes, and you know, I think those would have been the guys that I would have went after in free agency last year, because free agency was probably weaker last year than it is this year, I would think. So those would have been the guys I would have gotten.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Hindsight is 2022, because we were talking about that on Sim Show. I remember, and I remember getting a lot of arguments. I remember me and Guillermo got into it over a couple things.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
You know, just like, you know, this thought process and stuff. You know, just get arguing about stuff like that. But just like you said, hindsight is 2020. Like if we would have did those things, if we would have got a Kelly Oubre and stuff like that, a guy like Kelly Oubre, I think he would have been right in there in that Bullock role. You know, just a spot up shooter. You know, 3-and-D kind of guy. He set his role.
Only thing with him, he can't shoot as well as Bullock. You know, but he gives you other things. You know.
Yeah.
Versatile, right? Yeah, but go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, definitely, man. That just gives us stuff that Tom Thibodeau wants guys to do. You know, and then it wouldn't have looked so crazy. So I mean, like getting Kemba Walker and getting Fournier and stuff like that. Now you have to use pick and roll basketball. You know, because you just added two guys that have been doing pick and roll their whole careers. You know, so now when you get here, you say, okay, no pick and roll, just stand in the corner, wait for the ball to come to you.
Right. And you know what it is? I think they was more so looking at guys that was more so like scoring options instead of guys like Bullock. They was looking more so at you know, number twos, number threes, twos, whatever. They was looking more so at that. And like they say on other channels, they say analytics. Evan Fournier provides the best spacing as far as analytics goes, because he can shoot. So he provides the best spacing when he's on the floor. You know, he can sit in the corner and catch it, you know, hit a 3-ball wide open, things like that. If Julius gets doubled, you know, they was looking at it from that perspective, the offensive perspective. They didn't look at it from a Kelly Oubre filling that role, like, you know, defensively. He probably can't shoot as good as Bullock, but he can slash. He can slash to the basket. He can guard a few different positions. He's a little bit faster than Bullock. You know, he probably can guard some fours. I see them guard fours. You know, things like that. You know, all those guys that I mentioned, they play bigger than their size. A lot of them are small. Gary Trent is small. Norman Powell, he's small, 6'4", 6'5". They play bigger than that, so they can guard, you know, some bigger guys. Fournier can't guard nobody at all. And I like Fournier, but I'm just being objective. He can't guard nobody. Can't guard me or you.
Hell no, he can't guard me. I know that shit.
We would light his ass up easily. You know, probably light us up too, but
yeah.
Hey, you know.
Well, this is an old clip. I just have it on the thing. I'll just play it. This is Tom Thibodeau's energy right here. You know what I'm saying? That's his energy. You ain't gonna call no fucking fouls, you know. So I mean, you brought guys in here that just not gonna play that smash mouth, grinded out basketball, you know. So Tom Thibodeau don't have nothing to really feed off of. That's his MO, you know. So we didn't, like I said, you're right on. We agree with each other, you know. They just didn't double down on what we did right, you know. What we did right, you know. I think that's the problem. They have to really look at Tom Thibodeau. He's the coach. You have to like pay attention to that. You can't. This is not like 2K, you know. I make fun of Tom Thibodeau all the time, but if you got him as a coach, you gotta at least like think about him, you know, when you make moves and stuff. You know who your coach is.
That's what I said about the draft. I said you got best fit, you got best available, you got position of need, you got best available, and you got who will Tom actually play. You know, because he doesn't like any rookies. So if a rookie just wows him in a practice, then he'll get some play. You got to think about 3 things instead of 2, you know, when you draft.
Yeah, so, you know, you mentioned the draft, man. So is Tom Thibodeau playing any of these guys, you know, on the screen here?
Oh, pardon me. You know, a definite, I would say. I see Johnny. That's Sochan probably. I think he. You know, I know he was cool with AJ Griffin's father, Adrian Griffin. He was cool with
Right.
him. Pretty tight with him. That's a connection thing. And then he's at Duke. You know, connection thing. He's a good defender too. AJ Griffin's a solid defender. Only thing with me is the injury. I'm not very high on him, but he's a very good player though. I always look at him. He reminds me of Ben Gordon. I don't know why, because his shooting. Ben Gordon. They're both from. Ben Gordon was from Mount Vernon. I think AJ Griffin was from somewhere upstate. I can't remember where. Jalen, no, not so much Jalen. Jalen Williams is projected to go 16. Wow. Tari Eason, that's a guy Tibbs might like. He reminds me of Kawhi in a sense. I'm not saying offensively, but he got big hands, long arms, strong. He'll rip you. You know, you kind of help defense. You drive, and he's in the help defense. He's likely stripping that ball from you.
Yeah.
I saw the guy Agbaji from Kansas. He did all 4 years. He's coachable. That's another Tibbs guy. Tibbs might like. But yeah, 6'5". You know, I don't know if we get rid of Grimes or not, but when I think of guys like him and Malachi Brand above him, I like Malachi Brand too. These guys are 6'5" guys, same height, so they kind of do similar things. Malachi may be, I would say, a better shooter. He shoots the three decent, but he's more of a get in the paint type of scorer. He attacks the basket somewhat, not as much, but he does. He's a good scorer.
You know, shout out to King. All these guys are just variants of each other. You know, like it's just like
carbon copies. That's what my co-host would call them. My man Sub. They call them carbon copies. And it's like, you know, at this point, because think about it, E-Rule, what's the point of drafting a guy? If you're gonna replace Grimes, what is the point of the draft pick? Grimes comes off the bench. He doesn't start. So you're drafting a guy that you're drafting another guy to come off the bench. He doesn't start. So wouldn't you draft a guy that makes an impact? Like, shit, if we throw him in the game, we know this game is we know that the outcome is gonna be different. He's gonna alternate this game. He's gonna alter this game. He comes in. He's gonna impact this game both ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, there's guys like Max Christie. People are talking about Khalib Houston from Michigan. Yeah, I mean, all these guys is like, you know, everybody has that guy. Oh, this is gonna be the guy. This is gonna be the guy. But at the end of the day, once all this is said and done, there's gonna be a lot of like, you know, duds and a lot of studs too. You know.
Oh, Andrew Nembhard went up in stock. Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I like Andrew Nembhard, man. He's another guy from Canada, I think. Yeah, he's tight with RJ. He's a good point guard, actually. Very good defensively, good on both sides, good high IQ. He's solid, man. I like him, man. I don't think we getting him, but solid. Yeah, he's a solid dude, yo. I don't know. Me personally, I don't want point guards. Let me ask you: you like anybody in the draft per se, specifically?
Well, I played this in the last pod, but you know, I'll play it again real quick. This is somebody that's not on anybody's draft board. I think Tankathon just put him at number 60. And I had stupid videos pop on, and he made his comment about him. But let me just play a couple seconds of the video.
Alondas Williams is a 6'5" combo with dump bounce and dimes. He's the third leading scorer in the ACC, and with the spread floor in the league, he's going to have a lot of opportunities to play above the rim. He gets a lot of his buckets off the dribble, and he's low-key crafty with it and likes to spin move like on this play.
Tilting the court downhill, gets to the.
You know, I mean, I see a player like that, I'm like, yo, this cat is nice. How come nobody's talking about this cat?
You know why? Alondas Williams, yeah, Wake Forest, right? Wake Forest, yeah. What's his name? Was talking about him? Legion. Shout out my man Legion, Gmo. Yeah, he had a show about it. Yes, Alondas Williams. Yes, Rutgers. What you bet? About 6'4", 6'5", big guard. Only thing with him, I think he can't shoot like that. Can't shoot well, but he attacks very well. He's a big guard, strong guard that can attack very well. Like those clips you just showed. Yeah, he's about that. He's about that life when he attacks. Yeah. I like Alondas Williams. He wouldn't be bad. You said at 60. Now, if we get a pick like that, if we get a late pick, he wouldn't be bad actually. He wouldn't be bad.
I mean, the guy has a high you know, he has a really good dribble. You can see he can get to the basket when he feels like it. You know, did you see that drive when he reversed it and cupped it down to like he looked like freaking Vince Carter and shit, you know, on that dunk.
He got up pretty high. So it was one. Yeah, he got up. Explosiveness, yeah, he got up pretty high. I seen.
Yeah.
Of course.
So the thing about it is just like you said, his shooting. Like, so people are just like so like they fell in love with the 3-point shot.
Right.
You know, so the guy sucks if he can't shoot the 3.
That's the thing with Knicks fans. I will say, like yeah, everybody that gets drafted, they have a weakness. Like, come on, they're not perfect. They're only fucking. A lot of them is like 19, 20. Come on, they're young. That's young, yo. They're 19. So they're not perfect. These are things that could be worked on. You can see it in their game. These are things that they could work on. Some of these things they may never be good at. I understand, but that's when you play. That's what a coach does. You play them to their strength. If they can come in, if they can attack the basket like him and play defense, I don't know how good his defense is. I gotta look again. But if a guy like that can attack the basket and play defense well, I'm still all for it. Because like one of my other guys would say, we need so and so as much as shooting. We need athleticism as much as shooting. There's no athleticism on this team. There's none in the backcourt. None. The closest thing is D Rose, who has a little bit, whatever the fuck he has left in the tank at 34. I think he's 33, 34. Whatever he has left in the tank is what you're gonna get. What you see is what you get with him. And he may get thrown in the package. We don't know. But that's the closest we got to the athleticism we have on this team comes from the bigger guys in the front court. Obi, Mitch, Jericho Sims. After that, then I guess, Cam. That's it. A lot of these guys is, they're not they have the sneaky athleticism. RJ, if you sleep on him, if you don't try to really block him and he attacks the basket, he'll dunk on you. He may be looking to dunk. You may think, oh, hey, I'm gonna block the fuck out of him. He may dunk on you. That's the sneaky athleticism. Quentin Grimes. They don't have the elite first step. They catch you in a closeout. You try to close out, they blow right by you. They catch you like that. We don't have that. We don't have that guy that has guys backpedaling every time he brings the ball up court. They just like, what the fuck? What's he gonna do? D Rose was that guy, especially in his prime. Yeah. He was that guy. We don't have that. That's why Ivy. If we get Ivy, I won't be opposed to it. I don't know if you saw the recent rumors. I keep seeing rumors every time I look on YouTube and Instagram. I see they talking about. They said Grimes, a first pick, Cam. It was two other guys they mentioned. I forgot what. I think it said Nerlens Noel and Burks. I think it was either Pistons or Kings. That was the latest. That was maybe 3 hours ago, 2 hours ago. I'm like, man, they're getting closer and closer to a deal, and I'm getting scared. You know what I mean? I'm getting scared. It's gonna be now. I like Grimes, but if it's for Jaden Ivey, and you got the veterans in there, I'll take it. You know what I mean? Because you're replacing Grimes with Jaden Ivey. Jaden Ivey probably can't shoot as well as Grimes, but he's not a bad defender either. He's an underrated defender. The guy has some dog in him, and I just want to see that on this team. I want to see a guy yelling. When I listen to the game on TV, I want to hear a guy yelling when he's on the court. I don't want to see guys get they losing and they just when they got to inbound the ball, they tap the ball and throw it so the guy can inbound it. They got an attitude. It's like, yo, what the fuck does this do? We're losing. Like, where's your enthusiasm? I've seen this too many times as a Knicks fan. It's like, yo, you can't be in New York playing like that. Like, come on. That's it's kind of like frustrating. I need to see a dog like he has a mouthpiece and he takes it out. Yo, what the fuck? Just barking on people. What the fuck is going on? What are we doing? I need to see a guy like that. I don't see that. I see it on other teams. And I'm like, damn, I wish we had that here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, even just like yelling at themselves. Like dudes that are into the game, they go crazy. They be like, yo, what the fuck? But they cursing at them. They ain't cursing at nobody in particular. They just so locked into the game that because we're locked into the game too. So we want something that emulates us. The spirit of how we love the game. So, but that's winners, man. That's winners. Winner mentality.
You call them winners, yeah. Like a Draymond. I seen Dylan Brooks do it in that series. I see him called out Jaren Jackson and a few other guys, and I'm like, damn, I wish I had that here. I like that because they want to compete. We're not even in the fucking playoffs. I'm sitting here watching the playoffs. I'm like, I wish my team was here. I see them sitting there yelling at each other. He calling out everybody. Dylan Brooks. I like Dylan Brooks too. Guys like that, man. Just the dogs calling guys out. He don't care if you got more years experience than him. None of that. Like for example, not to go off topic. I remember Mark Jackson saying that about Draymond Green. Even though Mark Jackson, he got fired and whatnot. I think it was him that said it about Draymond. He said his rookie year, he's ready to go upside guys' heads. All these guys had more experience than him. He ready to just go upside their head and bark on them, just barking on them. All these guys, Iguodala, Curry, these guys had more years in the league than him. Ready to just yelling at them. That's what we need, a dog like that. Draymond Green, he may not be the sexiest player. He may not get over points. I always liked him because he's a dog. He wants to win, yo. He gonna do what it takes. He gonna guard the other team. You gonna play him up tight. You gonna get in their chest. If he got to foul, if he got to play dirty, I'm not with the dirty play like that. But if he's a guy that gives you a little shove, so you don't get so you feel uncomfortable getting the ball, little things like that. I like to see a guy like like wear a guy down, give him a little elbow, things like that. A little like maybe not so much trip him, not so much trip a guy, but like just physical. I haven't seen that in a long. I've seen glimpses of that. I've seen some players come in and do that. I remember we had Marcus Morris. I know you. I think it's you that don't like Marcus Morris, right? You didn't give a fuck about him like that.
But just the it's like almost like remember Tim Thomas with the Fugazi shit, him and
Right.
Kenny Martin. It
Yeah.
like to me some of that stuff that they be doing is like little Fugazi, like you're trying to be tough guy type of thing. You don't have to do the antics to do it. Either you tough or not,
Like
you don't have to like have those antics.
Okay, one guy that was like that. Now I'm not gonna say he was tough because a lot of people shit on him, Enes Kanter. But I like when he I like when he stepped in for Frank at least. Like he stepped, and then when he came in, he said, "Yo, fuck all those water bottle games LeBron be playing on the inside beating." And I'm like, I like that because and LeBron's he's a Hall of Famer. Shout out to him. But fuck that. When you come into the Garden, no, you're not a Hall of Famer. We're gonna put you on your ass. Fuck that.
Yeah.
That's what it should be. When Curry had the whole segment with him breaking his record here at the Garden, there should have been somebody to put him on his ass. I don't care if his mom and dad were there when they was with they both were there. They're couples. She's with Pete Davidson, whoever the fuck she's with, and his dad is with his girlfriend. Somebody should have been there to put Curry right on his ass. Fuck the record. He shouldn't have got nothing off. He shouldn't have got no shot off. You know what I mean? Stuff like that, man.
Yeah,
That's
definitely, man. That's just the New York thing. Shout out to Tibbs. Remember what's the name? I think it was Frank or somebody. I think it might have been Frank Ntilikina. I think it was like his first time where like his mom and dad came to watch him play, and he did not get off the bench. He's like, "Fuck you, you ain't shit." I'm not gonna put you in just because your mom's in the thing, man. Fuck you and your mother. You know what I'm saying? If you want to play, you gotta play hard, and like you only get that from within. You gotta have that within. Like I like the Enes Kanter thing. Because I'm not a fan of him, but really because he's goofy. He's kind of goofy. But you need those goofies. You need goofy guys on your team, guys that just don't give a damn. Like if they already have that in them, like within the team concept, if you have enough guys on the roster that are strong-minded, self-motivated, that type of thing, you can tap into that, the Enes Kanter goofiness. You could tap into that. You could use that. That becomes like assets to you, man. So we definitely right now we got a team right with our young guys that they're very family oriented, they're strong minded, that type of thing. But as far as on the court, they're kind of like clean cut dude.
Right. That's the type of guys that the team likes. The front office and Tibbs, they like clean cut guys.
Yeah.
I need to see some rugged guys in here, man. Rugged, I guess, but can still bowl.
Right. Yeah, your state is always bringing up the same two guys, Patrick Beverly and the other dude he played for Miami last. He's a free agent now again.
Is it PJ Tucker? No.
Yeah, PJ Tucker. The same two guys, PJ Tucker and Beverly.
Yeah, that's funny. I brought him up last night because he just opted. I think he said he wanted to test the market. I like him too. I'm not gonna lie to you. I like PJ Tucker, man, because he doesn't play dirty. I mean, if he does, I don't. I didn't see it. I just know he plays. He wants you to really try to score 40 on him. He says, okay, if you could do it again. That's his thing. I like that with him. I listen to his interviews. I like this guy's demeanor, man. He's a and because I watched him when he first came in the league. He's an undersized power forward, whatever. They had him play center sometimes. He's gonna make you work the whole game. That's why I like him. We need that. Like, I don't like a guy that just lays down like a bitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like a guy that competes the whole game. That's what we need in New York.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what we need, man.
Like what he did to Durant. Like Durant still was busting his ass, but his attitude is like, yeah, you're gonna drop 40 on me, but it's gonna be the hardest 40 points you ever had in your life. And then just that mentality made him forget that his foot was a little bit too far on the line. And it was counted as a 2 instead of a 3. So just that little bit of tweaking that superstar like that made him forget where he was at that moment. You know what I'm saying? So if he was just a step back, which is easy for him, just take one step back, they in the NBA Finals.
They in the NBA, yeah. They probably would have got their ass in overtime. Yeah. Because they went to overtime, right? Did they?
Something like that, But it basically came down to that play.
That
play goes wrong because PJ Tucker had Durant flustered that millisecond. He didn't really affect him because he still was busting his ass. But that one little millisecond, it's what counts in sports.
So and then look at the end result. PJ Tucker's a champion from that. You know what I mean? from all those years of being in the league, being in the playoffs. He finally got his ring. So, things like that. Yeah. Things like that. Yeah. It's just, we need guys like that. There's not many. A lot of those guys, they're getting older. They want to be on, championship teams. They want to be on contending teams. It's funny because that type of attitude we need here. And it's like, I know, I hope we kind of get that. I'm not banking on it, but, but my thing is, look, so if the Knicks want to win now, right? If they want to win now, I think PJ Tucker's a good guy like that you bring over. I don't know. I think. Now, what's your view on Randle?
Well, I mean, same thing with the attitudes. Randle right now, he was like kind of just thrusted in being like the leader, and he wants to be a leader. He came from Kobe's camp and stuff, so he's applying the Mamba mentality stuff. But it's just that in his mind, he's just like he's just not rap type. You know what I'm saying? He's just not rap too tight. He has that emotion, but he doesn't know how to channel it. And that's the problem with him.
Right. What's funny? Like, rest in peace, Kobe. If Kobe was alive, I think RJ would have tried to work with him. I think he would have tried. And if he was alive, he would have definitely called Randle. He would have definitely called him.
Absolutely.
Like, he definitely would have called him like, yo, what the fuck going on? What's going on over there in New York? He probably would have given him some advice. He probably told me, yo, calm down. Not even Kobe acted like that. He got into his fights because, the league is competitive. Kobe got into some, he got into shit with Chris Childs. He got into shit with Reggie Miller. He got into fights beyond that. He had his thing with Kendrick Perkins. He got into stuff, arguments. It happens. It's competitive. These guys are grown men, But Kobe. One thing with Kobe though, it's funny because I got my game on and it says Mamba mentality on my game. That's funny. So the one thing with Kobe, all that shit will go on. He probably get into an argument with you, and then he'll give you 10 straight buckets right after, like it never happened, with your hands in his face and everything. So yes, Kobe would have definitely spoke to these guys like in the off season. He would have definitely got their minds right. Now as far as Randle goes, the attitude, right? Good player. I think he's a good player, but I don't know. The attitude kind of like put the icing on the cake for me with him. I don't know. Because I always feel like Randle's not that elite. That's what I feel like with Randle. I feel like he's not that elite yet. Like, he had the most improved player, but I feel like because after he got that award, because the thing is, I tried to stick up for Randle so many times, yo. Like, especially the playoffs. When the playoffs came around, that's when you got to play like that the most. You got to play like that season you had the most. So when the playoffs came around, it's like he reverted into a shell. He didn't know how to read a defense no more. He didn't know how to attack a basket no more. Nothing. He didn't want to do anything. He wanted to dribble and just shoot, just to get anything to get the ball out of his hands and just pray it goes in. And it's like you can't do that in the playoffs. So I'm thinking, okay. When in the next season he's gonna bounce back, and it's kind of like he looked like how he looked worse than how he looked in the playoffs, and that worried me a lot. And then he had the attitude, smacking the laptops. Pushing teammates' hands away. Him as far as him getting in guys' faces, I don't really care about. But my only thing with that was he was getting in guys' faces when the game would already be over. And it's like, yo, dude, we lost already. Like, where was this energy, like third quarter? Yeah, like, like this body language type of Randle. I think, this was the end of the season, I think. Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That right there pissed me off the most. That's that gives me some, because I want to piggyback right off this image. He had this attitude like he didn't give a fuck what was going on in the huddle. Like, oh, I'm not involved in this. Y'all go. It's like, yo, y'all go ahead and win without me. Y'all have fun. And it's like, yo, it's like that dude, like, yo, what's your problem? Like, he's like, yo, y'all just go have fun. Y'all go to the party without me. Y'all have a good time. Y'all do whatever. It's like he's like that dude that said he was coming to the party with y'all. Y'all talked about it. Y'all talked about meeting up to go to the party. All of a sudden, y'all have fun. I don't want to go no more. And it's like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with this dude? He's like that. Like, it's like, yo, what's your problem? Yo, we won. They won without you. That should kind of like take a burden off you. That should take the attention off you if they won. But that's my thing. Like, okay, him and RJ, right? This was their third season together. I feel like they have no chemistry. I don't see no pick and rolls with them. You mentioned this earlier. There's no pick and rolls with them. It's like this guy is too good to set up pick and roll. And it's like, yo, when you look at other teams, for example, you look at the Jazz, right? I don't think Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert get along like that. I don't think Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert get along like that. Right? I don't think they really feeling each other like that, especially since the COVID thing. It's like the chemistry with them went down, whatever, their friendship. But I bet you this. Gobert wouldn't hesitate to set a screen for Donovan Mitchell anytime. Any given play, he'll set a screen for him, would he not?
Yeah. When it comes down to the war, when it comes down to wartime, I think they'll fight for each other. You know, that I think that's proven.
Right. I haven't seen Randle, like this guy won't set a screen for shit. Like I think that same game, that Chicago game where the Knicks won, I think I saw IQ telling him, I think I saw him like, yo, set the screen for I don't know if it was Mitch or IQ. He said set the screen for so and so. So he had I watched him. I watched his body language. It's like he had a whole attitude. So he sets the screen, and I think it was for IQ or RJ. Somebody. So he sets the screen for them. They came down and scored. But I'm like, yo, this dude had such an attitude doing it. Like he didn't want to be told to do it or nothing. I'm like, yo, that opens up the offense so much when you do that, because when it comes to guards and guys that just need a very little room to operate, you know, and not only that, you get the ball back. So when it comes to guards like that, you get an easy bucket. You get a bucket. You don't have to work for a bucket. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this dude's problem? What is your problem?
Yeah.
Like,
that's why I got Debo on the screen, because, you know, Debo popped up. So, oh, shit, Debo's here. You got to tuck in your chain and shit like that. He wants to know what you got on my 40. You know, he done stole the guy's bike. He stole his mama's chain and all this. And he's like, why are you doing that, fam? Like, it don't make no sense. Like, we all grew up together. Why we fighting with each other? You know, we could do so much, you know, positive shit together. We live on the same block. Why we fighting each other, you know? Right. And that's basically it. We're on the same team. So why you got so much negative energy like that? And when we're all on the same team trying to win together.
Right. And that bugs me out with Randle. You know what I mean? I know there's a lot of Randle apologists out there. And it's just like, yo, that bugs me out with him. Like, you know, some people.
That's Ralph. Basically what Ralph said here.
He needs better help around him. Leon Rose failed him with injury. And no, Derrick Rose. You know what? See, so this is my view on Randle, right? I feel like I sound like State coming on here right now. My thing with Randle is I feel like Randle is the help. I feel like he's the help to somebody better than him. Yeah. Like if we was to get, like, let's say we hypothetically got a Damian Lillard, Randle is that number 2 option. You know, that's where Randle I think that's where he would thrive the best. And I'm not, you know, and the thing is with him, like I remember somebody said, it's not Randle's fault. I mean, okay, like the season. Now, whose fault it was, I guess that's up to the fans to speculate. There's blame to go around. Now, Randle is a player. So, of course, there's some blame that goes on him. You're a player. You were seen as the leader a year before. You was the most improved player. You had a very good year. So, it's like, don't act, you know, you can't run from that. It's inevitable. Don't act like people aren't expecting you to have the same type. Yeah, I'm pretty sure when you looked in the mirror, you expected that from yourself. To have a year to duplicate that. There's no way, or either duplicate it or have a year better. There's no way Randle didn't see that coming. Especially in New York. Any team you play for, you should be wanting to have a better year than the year before. So you come into the next season, and now you may not want to be a number 1, but you showed a number 1 attitude in the sense of, for example, we had Kimba, a guy who's a little bit more ball dominant than Elfrid Payton. And it seems like Randle had a problem with that, you know, and that's the thing. Point guards do point guard things. They bring up the ball and they push the pace. You know, you give them the ball, you reset, they give it back to you. That's where I think that's where he had a problem with. So that was a glimpse of, you know, because remember, they shut down Kemba. So that's a glimpse of what a superstar, if we was to get a superstar guard, that is a glimpse of what a superstar guard would look like here in New York. A guy that dominates the ball and he's going to get it to you in your spots, or he's going to hit you at the right time. You're not going to bring if we get a superstar guard, there's no need for Randle to bring the ball up. There's no need for you to rebound and try to push it. No, you take it to the point guard. The point guard, he'll attack the basket. If it's not there, reset, you get it right back closer to the basket where you're more of a threat, because I think Randle's more of a threat the closer he is to the basket. You reset, you get it closer there, then you get your buckets. As far as you dribbling from the top of the key, you know, and then taking a shot that you want, and then, you know, you get the ball, maybe Tibbs runs a play, you wave the play off, a guy comes to give you a screen, you wave him off, and then you fade away to the side and take this shot. That shit doesn't work here, man. It just doesn't work. I think
it doesn't work, period. Because like there's positions in basketball for a reason. So
Right.
like, I mean, Ralph Diaz is probably drooling, at home right now, foaming at the mouth about what you're saying, because he's talking about, Randle isn't a number one option. Yes, he's a homegrown player, blah 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 blah, all the stuff that he's saying. But he's just talking about him being the figurehead. But Julius Randle is being used wrong, like you just said it, like him getting the rebound, taking the ball up the court, getting his own post position, and all this other stuff. We're just using him completely wrong. So like if we were using him properly, then things will make more sense. It just all of it just compounded stress when it comes down to it. Everything is all stressed out for no reason.
And that's where I point some blame out. So Randle gets part, Tibbs gets part for not being offensively minded, not even having an offensive playbook. He maybe have some, some Spain pick and roll, some ISOs, okay, and some blame on the front office. But to answer Ralph, Julius Randle, the only help to get this guy is guys that's better than him. Because look, if you get a healthier Kimba, right? Let's say you get a Brunson, maybe. Let's say you get a Brunson. Let's say you replace Fournier with, let me see a guy. Let's say a Chris Middleton, or hypothetically, or DeRozan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what is it? Is it post and kick? Like, all he's going to do, he's going to ISO. Team, it's easy to scheme on a guy that post and kick. It's very easy to scheme. Teams had a game plan for Randle coming into this season. Teams were looking at the Knicks. Teams scheme for everybody. You think teams ain't looking at in the offseason, oh, shit, the Knicks beat us? Oh, we must be doing something wrong. Yeah. Now it's disrespectful, but it's the truth. Oh, shit, the Knicks? We lost to the Knicks. We got to do something. We got to figure it out. Look at the Celtics. We would have been, if the Celtics won the championship, there's no doubt we would have been linked to them. Why? They always bring up that RJ shot on January 6th. They bring up that shot all the fucking time. Oh, that shot. After that shot, these guys, they was in like the 10th seed, 9th seed. These guys ended up in the 2nd seed. Come on. These guys, they was like, oh, come on. We're rivals to them. They still, even though we suck, we're rivals to them. We're Atlantic rivals to them, yeah. It's personal.
Yeah.
Even though we suck. Even when Paul Pierce was here, he laughed at us when somebody mentioned it, when somebody speculated the idea of us being rivals, he laughed at us. Now, as far as back to Julius, I'm sorry. I get so much into the Knicks talk. I got my wine.
I get it, man. Me and you got the same disease, because I do the same thing. When I'm on my rant, you know me. I sit here, talk to myself, and rant for 3 hours. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, like it's like the thing with Randle, yo. He's not what we make him out to be. He's a guy that could. Now, can he pass? Yes, the guy's a good passer, but he's not. He's more of a alternative passer. He's more of a secondary playmaker. You need a primary playmaker on this team. Is that my guy State?
Yeah, he just popped in just now.
State, salute, man. State be on my time too, man. State be on my time too. I'm gonna bring up what State said in a minute, but when it comes to Randle, we need a primary playmaker. Randle's not a guy that brings up the ball and looks around and says, okay, and just makes the pass. Randle is the guy that, let's say he cuts to the basket, he gets the ball, or let's say he beats his man. A guy like Mitch's man comes to help out. Randle gives off the drop-off pass to Mitch. Mitch dunks it. That's the type of playmaker Randle. He's an extra pass type of playmaker. He's not a primary. You can't run through him. It just doesn't work because teams adjusted to that. Teams figured that out. There's been plenty of gifted power forwards in the league that play just like Randle, lefties that can pass, can shoot, can handle the rock a little something, even though Randle's handle. The thing is with Randle, he dribbles a little bit too much for a power forward, more than most. But there's players just like him that was good at playmaking. You had Lamar Odom. You had David Lee that was good. David Lee fit the Warriors because he didn't have to playmake. He playmake from the post. He got the ball. If they doubled him, he kicking it out. I don't remember if he was a Finals MVP that year they won in 2015. I don't remember. Was he? I don't remember.
Who, David Lee?
Yeah, was he the Finals MVP the year they won? The first year they won in 2015.
I think it was Iguodala. I think
it was Iguodala. Okay,
yeah.
David Lee. See, they traded him after that series, right? Okay, boom. He was a good player for them, though. He was good because he caught the ball at the free throw line. He could beat his man. He knew how to score. He was a veteran. He knew how to score. He knew what to do. He knew when to kick it out, and it worked. He wasn't the attention wasn't on him. Was he a threat? Yes. But the primary attention was on guys like Curry, a guy like Clay. It wasn't on a guy like him. You know, that's what Randle doesn't need. That with the attention on Randle, it just does not work. Yeah, it doesn't. The guy can barely move. I hate to say it, but it's true. The guy could barely move Lonzo Ball when he posted Lonzo Ball up. You know, and that shit makes me so mad. It makes me mad because Randle had the same attitude when they played the first game they played the Bulls in Chicago, and he couldn't move him. They called the foul on Lonzo, right? Because they usually call a foul when a guy has a mismatch. They called the foul on him. So in the middle of the dead ball situation, they show Randle, he kind of like pushed Lonzo like out the way, like, you know, get out my way. And it's like, yo, you trying to punk him. I get that because it's competition. It's friendly competition. You guys used to play together. Cool. But when you really have the ball in your hands, you can't move the guy. So, like, what do you not?
And Cully froze himself out.
6'5". Man, you can't even move the guy. So it's like, yo, stop with the intimidating antics, with the bully stuff. You can't even get past him. You couldn't even move. Randle had a bad game that game too. RJ saved that game. RJ saved that game. That was one of the 4 or 5 games that RJ had when he was going off in the middle of the season, and they took the ball out of RJ's hands after that and started running through other people. They wanted to run through the other. They wanted to run through Randle. Tibbs wanted to stick to Randle. He wanted to stick to running it through him, and it just did not work.
Sully, big problem. Sully and Eru, y'all see Ralph in the chat? I like people. See, when Sully is sitting here and he's telling the truth, and you got people who saying stuff like this, it gets annoying. Like, he's literally telling the truth. Like, we all watch the same games. Like, come on, I gotta stop. Just stop, bro. We don't love RJ. We love.
It's all perception though. Guys have, you know, everybody has their own thought process of how they see the game. You know, so every time they talk about the game is only that framework that they have in their mind. Whatever this, you know, decision that they made, agreement that they made about the game of basketball, that's always going to come out. So, you know, that's just what that is. With
and shout out to my man Ralph Diaz. Shout out to Woodshed, B Willis. Shout out to the guys in the chat. I forgot to shout out my people in the chat. Shout out to Ralph, because I chopped it with Ralph before. I think on Gmo's show. You know,
Ralph is dope, man. He's a thinker. He's a deep thinker. Maybe a little bit too deep. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, respect him. But, you know, I want to throw out a guy like Antoine Walker. You know, Antoine Walker back in the days when he played with Paul Pierce and stuff. You know, he averaged 20 points a game, you know, bringing the ball up the court, shooting threes and that type of thing. But the difference between Antoine Walker and like a Julius Randle is that Antoine Walker was like twinkle toes. He would get up there, he would come down the court, and he was more like this. You know, he wasn't really throwing the elbows and stuff. He knew how to get to his spots. If you try to put a little guy on him, you know, he would simply post him up. He wouldn't be trying to bang him through the ground. You know, he would do his little thing. But if somebody big came on, he would just shoot over him. He's nice and easy. Julius Randle don't have that. He don't have that nice and easy thing about his game. You know, so those are things that he still needs to figure out and develop. And I just don't think. You know, it frustrates me because this is something I also want to throw out there too. You know, he's a family man. You know, this is Julius Randle. He's always with his wife. He's always with his kids. So that's good, man. But I mean, where is this guy? You know, the family man. You know, the provider. You know, always with his kid, kissing his kids and stuff like that. Where is this guy on the court? It's a whole different guy. We kind of need this guy on the court. You know, like bring that father. Just energy to the basketball court, but he brings the opposite. You would think that he would just like some street dude, womanizer. Like he's not with his family 24/7. You know, so he got to clean up a lot of things. Julius Randle trying to figure it out mentally. You know, like the pictures with him working out. You know, that's cool. He's a guy that he that's what he is. He's a guy that does work on his body. He's a guy that gets in shape in the off season. That's cool. But what's up here? You know what I mean? I'm more worried about what's up here. I don't care about the work. I don't care about none of that. Like you can, because for all this worth, you can get in shape and go play for another team. I do not care. I don't care if they trade him tomorrow. I had the icing on the cake with Randle. If he didn't have the attitude, I'd have been like, okay, I'd have still been defending him. But the attitudes and stuff, I'm like, nah, man, like nah, because we don't need that on this team. If we want to win, you have to eliminate stuff like that. You have to get that. You have to get that out of here. Get that off of here quick, like fast. Well, look, next season, I'm worried. I'm very concerned. Yeah, check out what Ralph said about Kobe here. You know, I don't know if you can see that state talking about Kobe. He did not show if Kobe was a positive role model. You know, Kobe came from Phil Jackson. you know, that type of thing. Phil Jackson will hand you. Well, Phil Jackson won't even say nothing to you. You're doing whatever you're doing. After practice, he'll hand you a book. You know what I'm saying? Read that. You know what I'm saying? And then, okay, what the fuck if you read this book? So that you pick up the book, and next thing you know, you're like this. Oh shit. You know, because it's whatever he's trying to get at you is in that book. Once you get it, then now you can take that what you learn on your own personal time and apply that to your life. So I mean, you know, like say like Kyrie Irving. I think Kyrie Irving read a couple books, you know, and now he's Earth is flat. Now he got sage. You know, now he got an afro. You know, now he's doing this thing. He has a certain thing now, but he, you know, somebody like Kyrie need to keep reading. You know, just you need to find a different book. Talk to somebody else because you get a little off track there. But that's a journey of a man. You know, like you know, basketball we want guys to grow as a player, develop this, get a jump shot. You know, work on your free throws, but you have to work on your mind too, as always. You know, as men, always trying to get better. And just improve yourself, you know, whatever, even you're stressed or anything like that, you can find a book or you can find someone to chop it up with. That's what Julius Randle needs. He needs that not necessarily big brother, but he just needs that outlet.
That's the type of help he needs. If you want to say Randle need help, he needs that help in his ear. Like he needs like the guy with the assistant coach that let go. Was it Kenny Payne? Kenny Payne. That's the type of stuff he needs. I don't know about as far as talent. Because if you get him help, it's got to be somebody better than him. It can't be somebody that's going to defer. Because it's going to be in the same position as last season. We're going to be running through him not giving a shit about any of the plays, breaking the plays, trying to go ISO.
I got a name for you. I got go get PJ Tucker.
PJ Tucker keep him right in check.
But see my thing.
Evil told me you like PJ. I liked him. I seen that he opted out. He opted out of free agency. I'm like, yo, that would be a good guy, a power at Knicks on the Knicks bench. He's the
perfect guy to have right behind Julius Randle. Because I mean, when Julius Randle's going crazy, PJ Tucker's gonna be right in his face. Listen, man.
So in that scenario, I got sadly Obi is gone in the trade for Ivy, and then you go pick up a guy like PJ Tucker, and then you go. You know, you got to bring Carmelo Anthony back home, man.
If you want to go vet, if you want to go vet, then
get a proven vet, and I think we good to go. You still got Derrick Rose in the building. It just hinges on what the Knicks is going to do within the next 2 days. I think they're going to do something drastic because after 2 years of Leon Rose being conservative, I think it's time. And then today. Now it's funny. I'm gonna throw this at y'all, fellas, real quick. So today it was said that Jalen Brunson is staying with the Mavericks for $25 million a season, right? So CAA, Jalen Brunson is a CAA client. CAA probably already had got wind of that weeks ago and started their Jaden Ivey pursuit weeks ago. So then another rumor comes out yesterday about Kyrie Irving and the Knicks or the Lakers. He's using the Knicks as leverage. So I don't think he's going to be a Knick anyway. But the point I'm getting at is we just got to watch and see for the next 2 days because I really think something is going to happen. Hopefully it's Jaden Ivey because it's clear. I was listening to Nothing But Knicks earlier today as well, and it's clear as day. Like I agree with Sim. The Knicks don't view Quickly as a starting point guard. And we could see that because they're looking at every other option besides Quickly. So if they don't view him as the starting point guard and they're obviously out looking for him and you see the rumors, then that means that they're definitely going into next season with a plan. So I hope they execute, man.
I just hope the plan isn't Brogdon.
No.
Lord help me.
And Brogdon's a good player, but that's when healthy, you know, and whenever is he healthy. It's like every season the numbers go down and it's like they go down more and more of how many games he plays per season. Nah, man. I hope we don't trade out and try to get in and just go for Brogdon. I hope the Knicks don't do something like if they do something like that, I'm done, man.
I mean, Keyshawn said Brogdon is the fallback plan. If we fall back, that's like we're gonna need a parachute. You know what I'm saying? That's how far back we're gonna be falling.
No, but how many times do the Knicks end up going back to their fallback plan? It seems like it's a lot. It seems like it's quite often. It's like almost
Sully, even the Knicks is the team with the most what ifs I ever seen in sports history. Literally, I'm done with the what ifs. Leon Rose better come through within these next 2 days. Or I'm going to talk about how I want him fired at the start of next season. Because you're just sitting on your ass, and I'm kind of getting tired of that. After Alfred Payton for 2 straight years, then we had Frank Ntilikina. I'm over here arguing with Eru about Frank Ntilikina being a fucking 8th man or something. Then I had to watch Kemba Walker this season get benched. And then I had to subject myself to Alec Burks, and he was getting 1 assist and a half. Nah, fuck nah.
Don't forget the scoreless games. Don't forget the scoreless games.
Man, fuck nah. Fuck nah. He better get me a point guard, man. He better get us a point guard. I think we deserve that. You got mad assets, bro. 5 first round picks the next couple of years. You know Tibbs ain't playing all of them. You trying to pay, you gotta pay quickly after next offseason there, Obi. Do something right now. It's time. No more waiting.
Well, Woodshed wants to talk about Melo. The thing is, everybody wants Jalen Ivey. If we pick Jalen Ivey, then we need like once we do that, we're gonna empty up a lot of assets. So it's not gonna be okay. Let's wait for Jaden Ivey to develop. No, we got Jaden Ivey to come here to be Donovan Mitchell, fam. You need to, we invested that in you. So the Knicks are gonna double down everything else and bring in those vets like a Melo, maybe like you said, like a the PJ Tucker, that type of guy. We're gonna have to start double down on that. Now we here. This is what we got, and we're going for it. This is our pocket, and that's what it is there. So no matter what we do, even if it's not Jaden Ivey, that next move that we do, that's it. It's no more waiting for next year and all that other shit.
Yeah, and then think about the rumors with the Nerlens Noel stuff. They're trying to move him. You got the rumor today that the Knicks is Mitchell Robinson is definitely going to resign. Well, praise the Lord, because I was scared about the center position. So that's already covered. So now we got
to deal with Mitch. Yeah.
I think it's 4 years, 44.
Yeah, it's a multi-year deal. 4 years, I think. Mm-hmm. That's good, man. Please, like, don't make this harder than what it is, man. Just pay the guy. Come on, you paid Sims already. You paid Noel. You know what I mean? Like, just come on, man. You paid Taj. Come on, man. Pay the guy, yo. Just pay the guy. Keep it easy. Get what we need, try to get more speed. Just make the team like, come on. And we got free agency. Like, let's get down to business, man. Let's not make this hard, man. Like, you know what I mean?
It's like a drawn out thing. Like, you got a girlfriend and stuff like that. You're not gonna be with her, but you let that shit drawn out for 2-3 years. Like, I should have been dumped this bitch. I'm done cheating on her, this and that, the other, but I'm still with her for like 3 years. But whatever else associated with that, man. You got to make a decision and just move on with your life. That's what that's about.
Right,
yeah. I like to use analogies like that because I say like a girl. You with a girl for 3 years, whatever. You're wasting your time, and then you dump her. Next thing you know, like a year and a half later, you get married and you got a kid. Look at all the time you wasted with this person when you could have let it go, whatever, and then just move on. And then like when you do that, you're in your own light and you're able to see what you want and then you attract what you want and then move on with your fucking life. And that's for a basketball, analogy. That's a championship. So fucking around with Frank Ntilikina for 5 years and all this other shit, we could have been moved on from that and been where we need to be by now.
Right, yo, and that's sad. It's just thinking about Ntilikina. It shows what it just shows what we could have done better, who we could have drafted better at 2017. It sucks to think about, man.
Yeah, people still talking about that motherfucker. They're saying that he's in Dallas. Oh, look at him in Dallas. He got playoff minutes. Man, if you don't stop that bullshit, that's like 5 years ago, man. We drafted him 5 years. That's 5 years wasted, man.
Yeah, wasted, yo. Didn't play him. We didn't put him in the starting lineup for shit. Just nothing, yo. Yeah. We didn't do nothing with another team. We didn't try to compete with him, win now with him, nothing.
No plan. That's the problem. And then y'all seen the Reddish news today. So obviously Tibbs don't like Reddish, and they looking for a trade for him. But see, I like stuff like that. Just give me a plan. If you don't like the dude, trade the dude somewhere where he can flourish. You know what I'm saying? Get another first-round pick back for him. You see the Rockets like him. Okay, give us one of your first-round picks. You got Reddish.
Yeah, instead of holding on to him, with all this, and I like him. I like Reddish, but if we're gonna make a move, just make a move, man. Like, let's start making moves.
Yeah, well, say like the Spurs, like with Popovich and stuff. He actually had Steven Jackson on the team for like the first time around. But then Steven Jackson went on to do what he's gonna do. But it doesn't matter to your team because you're building your team. If so be it, Steven Jackson needs to leave, Or like, how many guards did they have that went on to do other things and make money throughout the league? But they had them first. But San Antonio's like, okay, listen, you want your money? Okay, go ahead. We'll go find the next two. We're gonna move on with our franchise. We're not gonna like stranglehold our cap and stranglehold our roster spaces just to appease, what fans are saying or appease what a player feels. They're like, it's all about the Spurs, fam. How many times did they flip the roster and got like, whatever, Tygo Splitter, and they had David Robinson before. They constantly flipping the roster all the time. They don't give a fuck because the end result is to get that championship. So you're just gonna move accordingly.
Times they did that, numerous. Like they was it was another dude that they did that with too. I think it was Tiago Splitter. It was a big man and or dating. It was somebody. And Popovich told him, "Yo, go make your money in the free agency market. You go, go get that bag." He told him straight, "Go get that bag." And they went to another team. I forgot who it was. Somebody in the chat could probably tell me, but it was somebody.
They had plenty of guards, man. I can't think of it right now, but they had plenty of guards that went on to make money and stuff. But time moves on. They actually rebuilt 5 times, because they didn't win back-to-back championships. They won 5 championships throughout the course of Tim Duncan and what's the name of them career. They won 5 times. So that's 5 rebuilds they had, so that's incredible, man.
Yeah. Oh, man.
But the one thing that was consistent, they kept that same core they drafted together.
Same core.
They weren't all drafted at the same time. No, Tim Duncan was there first, and then a couple years later, Tony got there. A couple years later, Ginobili. I think Ginobili came before Tony. If I'm not mistaken.
And don't forget, State. Don't forget, we was one of the teams that lost to them in the first championship of the 5. Of having the 5 rings, we was the first one to go.
So if Patrick was healthy, we would have won.
That's what I said. You know what's funny? I said that, and I asked Freezy that, and they said no. They said I don't think because they said Patrick was like, he might have been healthy, but at best maybe 80% if he could have played 80, 85. So they're like, no. But I'm like, he wouldn't have neutralized at least Tim Duncan or David Robinson. No, I'm like, he wouldn't have had an impact. It was like,
So my rebuttal for that is we took him to 7 with no Pat.
Was it 7 or 6? Was it 7?
Yes.
I think it was 5. We won more than one game,
bro. They went.
Because I think they celebrated in New York. I think didn't they celebrate in New York?
I thought it was San Antonio. All I remember was the Sprewell shot. Remember he shot that fadeaway and missed it. That's the last shot I remember. I think it was in New York. It might have been in New York. Might have been.
Yeah.
It was San Antonio.
In the comment section, I think they went to 7.
Nah, they definitely didn't go to 7. We was getting our ass scraped.
It could have been, but I remember the Knicks was very underhanded. He was outmatched. Sprewell did the best he could. Canby, Houston, they did the best they could, yo. That team was stacked. Spurs was stacked. They had guys. They had Jaren Jackson's dad. He was on there. Jaren Jackson Sr. Chris Elliott, remember, or Sean Elliott, whatever his name was. Malik Rose, certain guys they had.
Yeah, they had Mario Elliott still on that team. They still had a couple guys, real old school guys there.
That's when I was like, yo, who the fuck is this Tim Duncan dude? I'm like, yeah, but he's a basic guy, yo. He's a basic fundamental guy that knows how to win. I'm like, I like this guy. Over the years, I'm like, I like Tim Duncan. I respect him because it's like he went to war. Like this guy is a guy that went to war. Whether you like it or not, that team, they know how to win, yo.
Well, look at the difference between what San Antonio did, because we both made it to the finals that year, right? But look what San Antonio did throughout the course of the next 10 years compared to what the Knicks did. The people that we added, the front office people, that Patrick Ewing trade was crazy. We should have just kept him. We just dumped him for no reason, and we got all these assets and fucked up our money. Brought Layden in here from the Utah Jazz, and then after him Isaiah Thomas. And it was just bug. We was doing some bug shit during that time. Compared to what San Antonio was doing.
Remember, right after they traded Patrick Ewing, who they signed? I think they signed Mike Dunleavy in free agency. They signed somebody to some ridiculous contract, like literally right after they traded Ewing.
It was a bunch of them.
Jerome James, they gave the big bag to.
Yeah, Jerome James.
That was the Patrick Ewing trade from Seattle, I think, right? And they had Chris Dudley, they had Shannon Anderson and Isley, I think, from Jazz, and
Weatherspoon.
Clarence. They had
They was wilding. Othello Harrington. They was just wilding. I don't know what the hell they was thinking, man.
I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this? I'm like, and I was young. I'm just like, damn, like, what's good with the Knicks? They never bounced back after that. I'm like, damn. But I stayed a fan. But I'm like, damn, like they suck, yo. Like.
Nah, Ralph. It was before. Nah, Ralph. It wasn't Allen Houston, man. It was something that The Knicks did a trade. Look, after they traded Patrick Ewing, they signed somebody for some unreasonable amount of money, and that contract was horrible. And because
was Shannon Anderson.
Was it Shannon Anderson?
Because I think he signed like a 5-year deal. We had Malik Rose. We had a bunch of freaking bums. It's like, what the hell are we doing here?
Was it McDice? Yo, was it McDice day?
Nah, it wasn't McDice. We traded for McDice.
Traded for McDice, right?
Yeah.
He only played like maybe 2-3 games for us. Fucking pitiful, yo. It was.
That's the difference though between that. You know, we drafted Nene, you know, and a bunch of other guys. We traded those guys for that's what we traded for McDice. You know, Camby went on to have to actually improve his career in Denver. Nene did what he did, you know, but we didn't focus on that. We was just trying to get McDice and get the big star and all that. You know, we just did the wrong thing.
We was like chasing like glory. Like after Ewing was like, it's like damn, because Ewing played. That was 84. We drafted him. He played up until like 2099. That was after. It was after that finals. It's like that's like 16, 15 years. It's like, sheesh.
13 years straight in the playoffs with that cat.
Yeah,
I legit got a coworker who brings up at least once a week, why did the Knicks trade Mark Jackson and why didn't we keep? No, he brings up why didn't the Knicks keep Mark Jackson and Rod Strickland? He brings it up once a week, at least once a week.
He need to find the G building somewhere in the hospital there, wherever the G building is. He need to apply, see if he can get a residency or something there.
Yo, hold up, yo.
You gotta let that shit go, man. You know what I'm saying? All that old shit, you know, the old heads talking about Rod Strickland. Yo, I can't believe they traded Rod Strickland for Mo Cheeks, and the young people are like, who?
Oh man,
know? Like who you talking about? Like, damn, man, stay relevant. That shit happened so long ago. You know, the people still talking about that.
Those are hurtful moves, though. As a Knicks fan, those are hurtful moves. It's like we kept trying to chase a star, like a past the prime star. It's like we chasing names, chasing glory, yo.
But you know, I got guys, you know, let's say like my dad's age, you know, our father's age, you know, in their 50s and shit like that. They'll talk about Bob McAdoo and things like that. They go even further than that. Say, why the hell did we trade Clyde for this guy to Cleveland? Why the hell did we get McAdoo if we had this guy? We didn't even keep him, you know. And then they got a Michael Ray Richardson. Why did we keep Michael Ray when we in this? You know, there's so many things that we've done. You know,
is Michael Ray still our all-time steals leader in steals? Is it steals?
He might be, man.
I think so. I think Michael Ray Richardson, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I did my homework. Yeah, him and Clyde. Yeah, but yeah, man. I don't know, man. The Knicks, and you know what? Another problem they did. They kept trying, and that's what the problem is till today. After the Ewing trade, they kept trying to go. You know, pause when I say this. They kept trying to go big instead of small. I mean, in the sense of point guard, they kept trying to go big. Let me get a big McDice, Jerome James, Eddie Curry. Michael Sweetney. I met Michael Sweetney too doing Uber. I met him too. I had him in the Uber. I dropped him off right at the Garden. He was going, you know, the Garden is it's also the railroad, Long Island Railroad. So I dropped him off there, and I'm like, yo, this a tall dude. I'm like, yo, and I looked him up on I think this is Michael Sweetney. He had like bags. But he was in shape though at the time.
Okay.
And I'm like, yo, Michael Sweetney. I'm like, you used to play for the Knicks? He's like, yeah. I'm like, yo, what's up? What up? But I'm like, wow. But anyway. Knicks kept trying to go center, power forward, all-star, superstar, you know, instead of getting point guard, man. Instead of getting the right guy, we could have had Ron Artest. We got Frederick Weiss. But I mean, you hate hearing that stuff. So I ain't gonna go on. But
no, I'm saying like most guys like me and you, we go back to that. We know we have that knowledge, but at least we can still pull it to the present. You know, guys, they don't even want to talk about the present. They have no clue what's happening with the Knicks now or the NBA in general. They just like casual fans, but they always bring it back to that point like it just happened. Bro, that shit happened 20, 30 years ago, you know, 40 years ago at some point.
So shocking. I ain't gonna front. Some of the only trade I will say, like all those trades was shocking, right? They was terrible. The one that still I will say there's always one that pisses off a Knicks fan, right? For years. The only one that pisses me off for so long was the J.R. Smith and Shumpert trade. That's when that was Phil Jackson's first year in the regime. That trade pissed me off so much. The reason I say that for Shumpert, right? When his name was getting thrown in rumors, the names that was linked to him at the time, you know, Rondo, when he still had a lot left, Kyle Lowry, there was guys that was linked to Shumpert that I'm like, damn, I would hate to lose Shumpert because we drafted him, but I'm like, damn, we'd be getting something back. We're gonna get a point guard. This Knicks was still looking for a point guard then, still now. I'm like, I'll take Kyle Lowry though, because he's playing for the good. He's a beast for the Raptors at that time in 2014, 15. I'm like, shit. I'll take Kyle Lowry, man. Fuck it. Like, if we trade Shumpert, we make the trade, yo. We get Lua Munson and Lance Thomas, yo. You know how mad I was?
Yeah, it's crazy. Phil Jackson basically just dumped him. He just dumped him off.
He just didn't like him. He traded him more for the fact that he didn't like him and just wanted to get him off the team instead of actual value of what you could get back. JR, he didn't like JR's antics. So I'm like, yo, what the fuck, Phil, yo? Just because you don't like the guys, like, man, you better have a plan in place. You better, man.
Wait. Something about Phil Jackson?
No, I was saying how, like, you know, because like all these trades happened years ago, right? That you will mention. A lot of these trades happened 20 years ago, right? There's always a trade for us Knicks fans. That's how bad it is, but it's like you got to laugh at it now. There's always a trade that happened that some of us just hate. So like we just can't let it go. For me, it was the Shumpert and JR trade. You know, when for me, it's that one because I love Shumpert a lot, yo. And I'm like, damn, we drafted him, and I'm like, in state. Remember, there was names that was linked to this guy, Kyle Lowry, Rondo. There was more names I forgot. There was names like if we made the trade, Knicks fans would have an uproar because we like him because you know the whole Knicks tape shit, and he loved being on the Knicks. But I'm like, yo, we was actually there was talent that was linked to this man's name, and I'm like, yo, when we made that trade, we got back Lua Munson, Lance Thomas. We got back Lance Thomas, Lua Munson. What's that guy? Alex Kirk's something. We got back the fucking guy he was a second round pick, a G League, whatever the fuck. I'm like, yo, how the fuck did that happen, yo? How did that happen? It made me so mad. It made me so mad. I'm like, yo, because I was driving at the time. So when I heard it at the time, it was a 3-team trade. I thought we got Reggie Jackson and Dion Waiters. They went to somewhere else, wherever they went. But I'm thinking like, okay, we got some excitement in the backcourt at least. We had Calderon on the team. And I like to think a good player. Calderon wasn't it for the Knicks at the point guard, yo. He just came off a good year, but he had an injury.
I forgot we had Calderon, man.
We had Jose. I'm like, yo, he's not it right now, yo. The Knicks man got Calderon. I'm like, yo, who the fuck did we get back? I'm like, we got back Lance Thomas. I was hot, yo.
Can I be honest with y'all? You know what trade had got me hot? That Porzingis trade, man. I think I recorded a pod with Die Hard like that same day. It was either Die. I think it was Eru. I recorded a pod that same day. Or me and Eru, I think we recorded a pod like during that week. The reason why that trade hurt so much is because, like you was explaining with the early Knicks of the 2000s, right? I grew up with no draft picks, bro. Isaiah Thomas was trading everything known to man. Even though Isaiah Thomas had a plan. Low key, he tried. He had a plan. He just
be careful. Isaiah Thomas be watching, man. Isaiah Thomas called him out one time on Twitter. He was talking shit about Isaiah, and Isaiah added him twice. It was like, what you say, young blood? What you say? Keep your name on my mouth, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
No, he still got that bad boy Pistons in him, man.
Yeah, facts. He came for me. I ain't gonna lie. But the point I'm getting at is, you know, I didn't know the reason why we traded Porzingis at first. So when it was first reported, I was like, what the fuck are the Knicks doing? You trading a 7'3" guy who could protect the rim and block shots? What are they doing?
Well,
so
you know what? That's a more recent trade. You know what? It's kind of like a cause and effect of now because look, Porzingis, okay, I get it. He had the injury. He was that guy because it's kind of like a slippery slope. He was that guy that would have attracted a KD and a Kyrie to New York, and you traded him. And you told the fans the backup was to clear up space to get those two guys in July. And I remember you brought it up. I think you brought it up. Say, I just heard you on a show. I think it was last night with Ebro. Y'all went live last night, Ebro?
Yeah.
State just brought it up. He said the date and everything. July 1st no, it wasn't him. No, it wasn't State. I'm sorry, it was someone else. They said July 1st in 97-degree weather, both of those guys shitted on the Knicks. And I remember that because I remember where I was and everything. I was doing Uber, and I'm like, I heard it in the car. I'm like, damn, everybody was shitting on us, yo. They was shitting on. I'm like, damn. And then we ended up with Randle, and I'm like, I like Randle, but I'm like, damn, we couldn't get none of these guys to even think about one. We couldn't even. I'm like, damn, yo.
You gotta understand something. when it comes to the multiverse, you can't break the sacred timeline, brother. We had to get Randle, bro. We had to.
We had to get Randle, yo.
We had. You could think of it like this. Let me put it in another way. I'm gonna make it sound better. Nah, I'm doing OT today. I'm making it sound better. Oh, I'm sorry. Good evening. So let me break it to you another way. Have a good night. Randle is 24, right? RJ is 19, right? You got left with $74 million in cap space. Get it done. Get it done. That sounds better to me than two guys. Both of them, granted, they both max players. Both, granted, right? But both of them aren't leaders. Both of them ain't win no championship as the one option. They wasn't. So you knew that was going to happen. That goes into my championship 1, 2, 3 options, right? Durant, what is he? A championship 2 option. What is Kyrie? A championship 2 option. So we good. I'd rather go with Kyrie. I'd rather go with Randle and RJ every single time.
I wasn't mad. Yeah, you know what? I was still optimistic about it, but it's just that we got dissed so hard. I'm like, damn. Damn, we couldn't even get a Terry Rozier, who was a free agent. We couldn't get nobody. I'm like, we need a point guard too, but I wasn't even thinking about a point guard. I'm just thinking about a superstar. I'm like, damn, could we get somebody? We traded away our potential superstar in Porzingis. I'm like, y'all got to bring back somebody. Okay, we got Dennis Smith. I like Dennis Smith at the time because that was the last time he played. He was actually balling, that when they made that trade. He was balling. And it's like, all right, what we going to do now? We had DeAndre Jordan, Wesley Matthews. Wesley Matthews got waived. I'm like DeAndre Jordan, he's probably out too. They older. So I'm like, what are we going to do? I'm like, damn, all we got we got Randle. I like, what's funny? The most exciting part of that summer might have been Marcus Morris, yo. When we signed Marcus Morris, I'm like, all right, we got a tough guy on the team. I'm like, all right, man. And then it's like, all right, does he take minutes from Knox? It's like, what are we doing, yo? And then we got Wayne Ellington. I'm like, oh, man. I'm like, yo, what are we doing? What are we really doing, yo?
Nah, but low key, right? Let's say if they do that same summer again. So let's flip it around. All you had to do was get, Julius Randle and Morris. You could have left. You could have not get nobody else. That's what you had to do.
Nobody Portis. Yeah.
Yeah, we OD'd. We went too hard with that. We needed big men, but we didn't need 3 to tie up the whole salary cap. Yeah, that's where we are now. We at a crossroads right now, right? At the moment, right now, we got the draft. We can make this trade. We can sign this guy, sign that guy. We at that crossroads. So the Knicks could basically do the same thing like we did in those last 2 trades. Traded Shumpert to Cleveland with JR. That destroyed us because we could have easily made a different move and made the playoffs. The same thing with the other move that State was saying. Like if we would have kept KP, we could have flipped it around a different way, and then we would have still been relevant and made the playoffs and this, that, and the other. We could have still built with that. But the Knicks, they always figure out a way to chop off the legs, to drop us down too far where we don't have to be. But we do a good job of coming back up. And then we just get to that point where we like this, and then they drag us back down again. It's crazy.
I gotta piggyback that because I gotta piggyback that in 2 ways. So the Shumpert one, it's funny because Shumpert. I know a lot of motherfuckers like analytics. Shumpert was the second leading scorer on the Knicks at that time. He was the second leading scorer behind Melo at that time. Well, he had a stretch of games where he was at least. And it's like, and I'm like, damn, because Shumpert was getting better over the time. Of course, he had his injuries, but he was the second leading scorer. So I'm like, yes, you could have flipped him for something better at least, and we probably would have gotten on the right track. That's one. Then you fast forward 2 years later, 2 or 3 years later, you could have drafted Donovan Mitchell, and maybe Porzingis doesn't get hurt. Why? Because he has help. He has a dog in Donovan Mitchell that probably gets the ball as much as he does, gets as many touches. I mean, now Tim Hardaway is not too bad, but Tim Hardaway had an injury. Remember, Tim Hardaway had an injury. Remember the Knicks was playing good that year. They were starting to they figured it out pretty fast. They had Jared Jack, which he's not long term, he's not sustainable, but he was doing point guard things. He was setting guys up. They had Ramon Sessions, who was playing like garbage. They took Ramon Sessions out the lineup, replaced him with Jared Jack. They had I don't remember if they had Mitchell. They had another big at the time. I can't remember. I think Kylo Quinn still. But Tim Hardaway and Porzingis were starting to make it work. Remember, they lost 3 games straight, then they won 3 games straight. Then they started getting shit together. They beat the Cavs, LeBron. They beat the Jazz. I remember they beat the Raptors. They started beating good teams, the Blazers, the Pacers. They was beating all the competitive teams in close games. I'm like, yo, the Knicks might get their shit together. Now, Tim Hardaway gets hurt. Then it's just Porzingis. He has to carry the load all by himself. Then the season goes down. Then he injures himself in the Bucks game. Ironically, that I think Tim Hardaway came back in. He finally came back, injures himself in that game, going for a dunk. I think after that dunk, and boom. Now, maybe, I don't know, injuries like that, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. But maybe if we had a Donovan Mitchell instead of a Tim Hardaway, or just somebody that demands the ball as much as KP, or somebody that's a dog, or, you know what I'm saying, has that fire in him, maybe KP don't get hurt. I don't know. But at least if we traded KP, we would have had a Donovan Mitchell. That's all I can.
Can we go before that though? See, this is another reason why I disagree with you, Wood, that Phil Jackson set the Knicks back. We had to get Phil Jackson. Once again, you can't break the timeline. Without Phil Jackson being here, and Phil wanted to trade Porzingis for Devin Booker, by the way, of Jaylen Brown, and James Dolan said no. But without Phil Jackson being the Knicks president, James Dolan would still be interfering. So we had to get Phil Jackson and go through the fucked up years put us through in order for James Dolan to get the hint. Like everything, I think everything falls in line. And then it falls in line with Leon Rose too, because we all say here like, yo, why Leon Rose is being so damn conservative? And then in the back of my mind, I always think like, yo, this is the same dude that facilitated the Andreas Bargliani trade. He facilitated the Carmelo Anthony trade. Remember, CAA used to strong arm us all the time. So maybe he got in his mind like, you know what? Nobody gonna sucker me into any deal anymore. So I don't know. That's the angle I keep looking at it when it comes to like Leon Rose and the Knicks and stuff like that. But we had to get Phil Jackson, man. It was tough, and I remember watching that game, yo. When we was hot. We was hot as hell, bro. I remember that too, and I thought we were gonna do damage in the playoffs. I ain't even gonna lie. I thought Tim Hardaway was the next. I thought he was like Mitch Richmond for like a month.
It was, man. Things happen for a reason and stuff, man. But I just got a notification. I don't know if you guys got it too from Bleacher Report. They just doubled down on this Pistons trade. They're talking about Cam Reddish is involved in the mix for number 5 for the Pistons. What do you think about that?
Oh, sacrifices must be made.
Not everybody can get, because you drove Uber. Not everybody can get in the car, man. Listen, it's only a 4 passenger limit. No more than 4 people. Not everybody can get in.
And it sucks because I like Cam too. But I mean, if so be it, if it happens, Yeah. The thing is, I don't know if Jaden Ivey will be there at 5. So I guess y'all okay with Sharp?
Now, hold on now. They also said that about Obi. Now, remember the Obi Toppin draft, right? CAA strong armed that draft because Cleveland was supposed to pick Obi Toppin. And then it's crazy how a couple of days before that draft, now Cleveland magically loves Isaac Okoro. Mm-hmm. So maybe CAA behind the scenes can do some moves to get Jaden Ivey to be like, nah, I don't want to be here. And Jaden Ivey's agent, CAA, I think his name is Andrew Mintz. He's Leon Rose's nephew. Obi Toppin's agent is Leon Rose's son.
Shit, just deep.
Leon, you gotta get it done, bro.
That's why I don't think Obi's out of here. To be honest with you, I don't know. I don't think he's out of here though.
But you got to take this into account too. Jaden Ivey's agent is also Julius Randle's agent, and he's also Alfred Payton's agent. So
you trying to say Alfred Payton's coming back? That's what you're getting at?
Go fuck yourself, man.
That or Julius is out of here, but we don't know that either. Or Julius stays. It's one or the other.
That whole speech and shit about that was just about Alfred Payton coming back to be the point guard. That's what that was about.
Yo, if they do that, oh man, that'd be malpractice, man. That'd be tough.
Yo,
that's practice on the Knicks. If they get that man back here.
Yeah, but getting that number 5 pick, if let's say because if you look at Detroit, they already got their guards. Maybe they might still believe in that French kid. They got Cade Cunningham. You know, they got their own players over there they need to get rid of too, man. So I mean, maybe they might think that you know, getting Cam Reddish is the better idea, you know, to get like a head start rather than having another developmental project, you know.
He might fit their timeline too, young, right?
Yeah.
Cam. Yeah, I'm looking at, but you know what else too? It made me think too. Us trading with Detroit or even Sacramento, like I mean, not so much trading, but them drafting their picks. Like you got Jaden Ivey, you got Mathurin. They could also just draft them just to trade them to get value. You know,
Right.
I got to think about that too. Like the Sacramento may take Keegan Murray. You know, Keegan Murray kind of similar to Harrison Barnes in a way. They may want to trade him or they may want to keep him. Who knows? They may want to get rid of Harrison Barnes just to make Harrison Barnes expendable. You know what I mean? I think it's things like certain things like Pistons could take a Mathurin or a Sharp just to make a Killian Hayes expendable or somebody else, maybe Isaiah Stewart. They might get rid of somebody. Somebody over there is getting at it. Oh, Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Grant's also expendable. So Keegan Murray could fill a void for a Jeremy Grant. You know what I mean? He could a power forward. He's a small ball forward. He's a 3.
Yeah.
And they got Sadiq Bey, so they may go in that route. So certain guys will be made. That's why you gotta. It's gonna be interesting on draft night, you know. And I just hope the luck falls to us at 11. We're never in the right position to just be set with our move. And even if we wasn't number 3 or number 4, I'd still be nervous. But I'd rather be there than 11, you know, than hoping that things go right.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you brought up a point too. Like every so often teams make trades for no reason. They say like Stephon Marbury back in the days, they trade at draft night. They traded him for Ray Allen. Like, why did they do that? You know, they when that team that drafted whoever first, they could have just drafted the other player first. Why did they make the trade? So if same thing like this with Keegan Murray, like they also did it with Trae Young and what's his name, Luka Doncic. So like, why did they make that trade when they could have just drafted the guy they wanted, you know, initially? But people, you know, these franchises, they do things for a reason. There's other stuff going on. Like you talking about CAA, agents are involved. Guys got to get paid. You know, so they'll do stuff for that reason too. So, you know, we have the inside track. So hopefully something like that happens, man. That's why I put it up there because like that 5 pick for Detroit, it's kind of like dangling. I could see you know, the Kings drafting like Keegan Murray, like you said, and then you know Ivy falling down to 5th, and then everything just works out that way. You know, and then we'll do something for them on the back end where everybody gets paid, you know?
Right. Yeah, that too. Yeah, you're right. That right. Yeah, Sacramento and ADC said in the chat, yeah, Sacramento can also pick Shaden Sharp, even though they probably wouldn't even need him, or maybe they have the power. They could choose a direction after that. That can make De'Aaron Fox expendable. You can get some value back for De'Aaron Fox. You know, you just traded for Sabonis, so I'm sure you don't want to trade him right now. I don't know. Sacramento's pretty iffy like that, so yeah, it's all types of moves that could be made after the fact. Free agencies after that. So there's moves that can be made, yo.
Yeah.
There's things that can happen. Nick, I mean, you said what's that?
No, go ahead, Sally.
No, I was gonna say, it's just my Knicks. We're not in the position to just draft any guy and trade them and make anybody. Well, actually, I'm sorry. We can make guys expendable, but I think we should draft what we should draft. But we're not in the position like that where we got it like that, man. We need to start picking. And I'm surprised AJ Griffin is higher again. I thought he would have been lower. So he might fall to 7.
I think the position that the Sacramento Kings is in, they're in like a weird position, and they're in a position like that I would never want to be in. You basically have a young star who's paid already, right? So now he's currently on his first max. Then you just traded for another young stud, right? In Sabonis. So you got 2 guys who's making above $20 million on your roster, who's under 26 years old. I mean, who's under 28 years old. They're both good. And then you got the 4th pick, right? But then you got to take into account your franchise hasn't made the playoffs since I was a virgin. That was 17 years ago. Mm-hmm. So if you haven't made the playoffs in 17 years and you're an owner of that team, you don't give a fuck about no number 4 pick coming in here and developing when you just paid out this guy and you just traded Halliburton, which is a stain on your franchise, for Sabonis. So I think it would behoove them to want to move the 4th pick back. But it was also reported that Indiana offered them the 6th pick and 2 future firsts, and the Kings declined that pick. So that tells me the Kings want a win now player a la Julius Randle. They want a win now vet, a la you could take Alec Burks or Evan Fournier, and they want a young player. Okay, you motherfuckers can have Cam Reddish, you would take Quinn Grimes, you take Obi, you take any one of them motherfuckers, and you could take 3 first-round picks, and you give us Harrison Barnes in the 4th pick.
Oh yeah, see, State, we thinking alike. I was just saying, at least give us Harrison Barnes. Let's get a wing, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah, man. I love Cam Reddish, but I love the Knicks more, man. And if I gotta get Reddish ain't stopping me from getting Jaden Ivey.
Yeah, so we'll get Harrison Barnes, Jaden Ivey. It's not like Harrison Barnes is a bad player. I'll take him. He can give us some good minutes, and you get Ivy, and now you start making moves. Simple as that. Don't make it harder than what it is.
Yeah,
Simple.
definitely.
Get
Harrison Barnes can come off the bench and he can do a little scoring and stuff like that. He's done that before in his career. So I mean, getting somebody like that with the experience and stuff, that all doubles down and helps everything that we're trying to do over here.
Yeah, you get exactly.
Question. Eru, would you start Barnes over Obi?
It all depends, man. Because is Julius Randle still here?
Yeah, is Julius Randle in that trade?
That Julius Randle sent in that trade, but from what you have been saying, because I'm trying to see your ideology with the whole Jaden Ivey is a shooting guard thing. So would you play Harrison Barnes at the 4, play RJ at the 3, and then play Ivy at the 2?
Knowing Tibbs, he put Harrison Barnes in front of Obi, but
I mean, I wouldn't be mad at it. Barnes is a champion. I mean, you know,
I like Barnes. I always liked him. So I'm not mad at that trade. I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, but Barnes is not going to do nothing like outside of what he does. He's just going to do. He's not going to try to be like Jordan out of nowhere. You know, he's just going to be. He knows what he can do. He's been a stud his whole career. He knows what to do. So
right.
But you know, just to say what you're saying, like it all depends on what the coach sees. You know, like if we get rid of Julius Randle, Obi Toppin's not a power forward. If you run that route and we're pushing the ball and utilizing our strengths. That's the main thing. That's all we've been saying this whole damn time. Just utilize your strength. If once we get a roster together, if we're utilizing, taking advantage of our strengths on the team, offensively and defensively, then I'm okay with whatever we do. This guy can start, that guy can start, because once they figure it out and it locks in, then the players can get into their role and they can see how it's working. And then winning, of course, if they're winning and all this is happening, then that answers all the questions too. So that's it, really, man. The Knicks, like Cully keeps saying, they're making it too hard, man. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. You're making it so hard. Like, just make the move, whatever, and then everything will fall into place however it's gonna fall.
But the main thing, make the move, but don't give a fuck about fan blowback. You get what I'm saying? Like, don't give a fuck about how we feel when it comes to like making a trade for like Ivy, even though I know he better not trade RJ Barrett or I'm gonna be in front of Madison Square Garden after work waiting for one of those dudes. But besides that, I don't have no attachments to none of these players on this roster. Go get Jaden Ivey, bro. Like, that's it. I don't care about no quickly starting point guard crap, all this other man. Go get Ivey, man.
Yeah, 0-30 out this motherfucker. Drop the choppers and everybody get out, go in there and kill Osama bin Laden and bring him the motherfucker home. You know what I'm saying? Like, however you do it, just get it done, and then we'll deal with the backlash after the fact.
Yeah, I do wonder though. One thing to think about. I wonder if RJ would feel a way about how they dealt Cam. Eventually, like in the future, I wonder if he'll think about that.
Not if he's drinking champagne, with the ring going like this, you know what I'm saying?
And winning, right? Probably not.
Getting hit in the head with toilet paper at the parade, you won't care about that.
Probably not.
Yeah.
I know that's his boy. He wants him to be, but yeah. I'd make if I have to get Ivy, so be it. I make the move.
Yeah, man. If we're friends, man, I can hit you up on freaking. On one of these things, the telephones. I can just call you on my phone and shit. Fuck you, you know what I'm saying? Right. I don't need to take a shower with you in order to be happy. And banana boat brothers and shit like that. I'm trying to win a championship.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I would hope that puts Ivy at the 1. I would hope that allows Ivy to run the 1. I would hope so. But right now, we just need a 1 right now, and I would hope that we could take it from there.
Who's your best? Who you think is the best two for him, for a guy like Ivy that would fit his skill set, that's already on our roster, or somebody who's realistic that we could get this off season, that's probably in free agency or through trade, that could fit next to Ivy? Because Evan Fournier, fuck him. He I don't want him starting on my team no more, bro.
Well, he's a driver. He's more of a driver. He gets to the basket, man, like fierce. So driving kick type of thing. Only thing with him, he's not the playmaker you want him to be. I mean, he can learn that. So if he's the playmaker you want to be, I could say a guy like Grimes. If Grimes is not included in that deal, a guy that you can drive and kick out to, RJ himself, a guy that you can kick out to in the corner. You probably want to space the floor at that point.
You know, I like the idea of having Quickly and Ivy together, man. I just see, I could just smell the rubber burning in Madison Square Garden, man. Their sneakers, they're gonna have to change their sneakers at halftime, you know, because the Knicks gonna be running so much. You got Obi, Quickly, and Ivy all running the break. That shit is crazy to me.
That too, just the threes, the speed. Because I will say, not Ivy, Quickly, like he had, you know, seeing him run the second unit, pretty fun to watch. You know what I'm saying? When the starters couldn't get it done and Tibbs switched, you know, when he switched up, it was very good to see, man. Because Ivy was playing. I mean, I keep saying Ivy. I'm saying it like the guy plays already.
You got to speak into his distance. Right?
Quickly he was playing how he's running. He's playing defense. He was pressing. Quickly was playing real hard, yo. You know what I'm saying, speeding up the pace, getting the ball down court. So I will say it will be fun to see. And then you got one guy that can shoot well. You got one guy that can attack well. That's what you need. One complements the other. That's what you need.
Quickly. But here's my thing. This is why I don't really like the Quickly. No, I like it in short spurts. I don't like it as a starting lineup, the Quickly and Ivy backcourt. But I do like it in spurts in the small ball lineup. If Obi can play some five, I think that's where you could get even more dangerous with that. But that hinges on Obi's development. So I hope Obi's in the gym right now practicing. And I hope Mitchell Robinson's practicing too. Because if you're targeting a guy like Ivy, the man gonna need space. And I'm already annoyed that Mitchell Robinson, I think he's taken under 10 shots outside of the restricted area in 4 years. He gotta do something about that. He gotta expand his game. And Tibbs, finally, whatever fucking playbook he had last season, you gotta throw that shit out, man.
No, I was just about to say, throw that shit out, please.
Throw that shit out. Because I don't even want Ivy playing off of RJ. And I love RJ. Give that man the ball.
Yeah, just let Ivy do him, yo. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's how I feel. Let that man do him. Let him do guard things. Let a guard do guard things, yo.
And RJ look like the type of dude, he'll defer. He'll be like, "Oh nah, all right, go ahead, eat."
You see this guy on the screen, man? This is what I see Ivy. When I see Ivy play, this is the guy I see right here.
Yeah.
Child.
Yeah, I see. This is what I see. I see Ivy coming down the court, driving down the lane, and banging on cats. This is what I see.
Yo,
you know,
he the rim very fierce, like a demon. Yo, that's what I'm saying. Like Ivy, I will say that's what I'm saying. I'm not mad if we get him, because I kind of like you get him. Only thing with the Knicks, the only thing with them, I don't want them to miss out just looking at Ivy, because it's still not guaranteed. The trade is not in place yet. You still have from now till draft night for it to be official, and you got to make that move with the Kings. I mean, we don't know if the Kings draft him, because my thing is I'm thinking too. What if they make that? What if they move up and the team before him gets Ivy? So I'm like, man, that would just suck, yeah.
That would fucking suck, man.
I mean, you still get talent at that when you move up though. So I hope the Knicks are doing their homework, but that would suck.
Yeah. Shout out to Stoop Videos. We just did a video with Stoop the other night. Well, last night. You know, talking about the draft and stuff like that. This guy, you want to talk about having the fever and can't stop talking? The Stoop is one of those guys. Cully's one of those guys. Me, you know, it's just a sickness that we have. That's why we on the screen talking shit right now. You know, this is what we do. Man. Yeah, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Thanks for coming in here.
Thanks to everybody, man. What's crazy is I'm on my way. I had a bad migraine earlier. I couldn't record earlier. my migraine left my brain at like 10 after I had a couple Tylenols, right? And I see a notification on my phone. I'm like, oh, it's Sully. Oh no, I had to jump on the pod. Man.
Yeah, that's why I hit you because you said you had the migraine issue. So let me leave you alone, shit. I don't know what's going on with you.
Nah, I was good. I was good by like 10. I popped like a couple of Tylenols. You know, I had to take some other medicine. I was good to go, man. I wouldn't be at work right now if I started migraine. You kidding me?
Yeah.
No, Lily Phillips. Shout out to Lily Phillips. No, we're just speculating. It just sounds exciting, but no, we're not gonna get that excited. You know, it's just speculating. The thought of it is exciting, but me, I hurt my own feelings too much getting excited for Knicks talk. So
Sully, let me teach you something, man. Yo, Eru, remember when I was talking that Cam Reddish, man? And I was just Cam Reddish every day. Yo, we gotta get Cam Reddish, man. We getting Cam Reddish. Yo, Sully, we gonna get Ivy, bro.
And then we got Cam. You know what's funny? I was thinking about Cam Reddish the season before. I was thinking about him and Julius is on the most improved season. I'm like, yo, we could use a guy like Cam Reddish to guard wings and all that. I'm like, that would be good if we get him. And then the next season we got him. We traded Kevin Knox in the pick. I'm like, wow, the Knicks really did it. Like, I'm like, they really looked at this guy. I thought I was the only one looking at this guy. I thought nobody wanted this guy except for me, maybe a few other people. And I'm like, wow, we really went and got Cam. So I'm like, man, I would hope. I mean, Ivy gonna cost more though. But I mean, yeah, so be it. I got to get ready to get to lose one of the guys I like. If it's Cam, then so be it, man. I like Cam, but so be it.
Yeah, you just got to be careful what you wish for, that type of thing. Because me too. There's certain guys that I wanted in the league. I looked at Zach Randle, said we will never get a guy like Zach Randle. Zach Randle ends up being on the team. Like we need to get like David Lee. We would never get David Lee. Next time we drafting David Lee. Same thing. Like these thought processes and stuff like that. So you got to be very careful what you ask for. Like State kept talking about Cam Reddish. The whole fan base talked about Cam Reddish, and then just because we all were on the same page, we got Cam Reddish. You know what I'm saying? So I got the energy now that everyone wants Jaden Ivey on this team. So I think because we put it out there so crazy, I think that it just possibly could happen, man. But it's all fun. It's all fun. Like what else would we talk about? We would just be waiting for something to happen. Like back in the days, it was just I got to get the Post, I got to get the Daily News so I can read about whatever. We have to wait to somebody to create something in order for us to talk about it. But now we can create our own stuff. We don't have to look for something to read or something to go by like that. We just go by our own shit, because we're just as smart as anything else out there too, man. So this is all fun, man. I don't want, I'm talking really to Lily Phillips here. It's like, it's all the fairy tales and stuff. But this is what it is, man. This is not real. This is not real life. This is all speculation. We all having a good time, trying to enjoy, talking about this stuff, man. This is all entertainment.
Yes, we know that they're shopping Cam. So it's like we'd be. I'd be hurt, but I'd get over it. Wait, Eddie C, you said you can't front. You'll be devastated. Devastated at what if they trade Cam, or at something else?
I'd be devastated at that because
I would be. I have to get over that. Like they say, you can't fall. We love the Knicks more, so it's like it'll probably hurt me for a few days. It might hurt me for a little bit, but once the season starts and I see Ivy, I feel better. You know what I mean? And then you can start making other moves. Okay, you got a guard, you got some type of guard in there. Now you can start making other moves because there's not much in free agency either. But free agency should kind of be like easier that you got your guy. It should kind of be like more of a coast,
Right. We should be killing it only because the contracts that we signed from last season, now they all expiring deals. This is why the ball's eyes are only on Rose right now. He has to deliver right now.
Right.
For him, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Well, listen, Lily Phillips, don't start no shit, man, because I can make it the show about you for the next half an hour or so. But where do we get our sources? We get the same sources that you have. You got Bleacher Report, you got ESPN, you get all the same notifications we got. I know maybe 5-10 minutes ago, you got the same Bleacher Report notification talking about the Knicks are going to talking about trading Cam Reddish for the fifth pick. So we're not pulling these things out of our ass. We just got it off our phone, just like you did. You know what I'm saying? So you're making the comments and stuff like that. I see it. I'm not ignoring you and whatever. So you want to be famous. So this is your fame on the show here. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about what's being reported. We're not just pulling shit out of our ass. And if we pull it out of our ass, so what? What the fuck? You know what I'm saying?
That's what the show is about. No, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
I would be too. But Eddie, I'm prepared for it if we don't get him. I gotta understand it's the Knicks and it's business. Like,
Nah. I ain't prepared for that, man. I ain't prepared.
I'm prepared. If we don't get Ivy, yo, because it's like I never expected us to get Ivy. It was all a pipe dream. It's a pipe dream, yo. It's a pipe, but I'm not gonna lie. With the more the reports come out, it's kind of like seeming like it's more. Come on, Lily, stop. It's more so seeming like it's more and more possible, and it's getting me excited. Because I don't mind. There's a lot of guys I don't mind. My thing is just don't get no center, just to play behind Taj. Please don't get a center, yo. It's guard. It's a guard and wing league. Please don't get no big. If we're not getting the Joel Embiid or Jokic type player, don't get no center, man. Mark Williams is nice. I get it. He's a good high IQ center, big body, can play both sides. I get it. Please. Oh, I just seen something. Ero, you're a funny dude. Please, let's just get a guard, yo. Let's do what we should, man. Let's adapt to the league, get faster, get more up to date. Please, Knicks, just get more up to date because the Knicks we could be just as deadly as the other teams, man. I see it. Yeah, we suck. I get it, but we could be just as good as any other team if we did certain things right. I'm sorry. I see it every game. If we ran more, we could be deadly. All that being last in pace and all that, it's not helping. It's not the 90s. Of course, we want them to be as tough as the 90s, but it's not the 90s no more. We got to speed up this effing pace. Yeah, we got to adapt. We got to get more athletic.
Yeah, we could figure it out because even in the 60s, in the 70s, when we won our championships in 1970 and in 73, whenever we won with the fast break, we won with the jump shot, we won passing the ball. We won playing that way. So if we could do it in the 70s and then reinvent ourselves in the 90s and whatever, we could do the same thing and reinvent ourselves for this era, and win that way, but just the way that this era does it. We can still do it.
Right, yo.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's our tradition. If you think about it, we were the first team to do that, really, back in the 70s. We were the first team to do it. So we were like originators with that. So we need to get back and do what we do best, Knicks basketball. Find our identity.
Yeah, and I'm saying, you see the interviews with Ivy. You see him saying he knows that this situation is going on.
This is.
We see.
Paris, not for nothing, Paris Duggan. Thank you for the super chat, man. He always throwing $2 at me, but he got good takes, very smart dude. So I get it, I get what he's trying to say.
The DSJ.
I like a Sean Paul, a young Sean Paul. That's funny.
That's funny.
I might have heard that once.
It's so original, right? So original. A light-skinned guy, you look like Sean Paul. I've heard that plenty of times too, man. When I used to have hair,
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I used to have dreads, so people used to call me Manny Ramirez and stuff. And I lived in what do you call Washington Heights for a couple of years too. And so when I had the long dreads, oh my God, Manny! I'm not Manny Ramirez.
Yo, what's funny, Eru? That's why I'm like, yo, in my head, I'm like, yo, Eru got to be a Harlem dude. He gives me the Harlem vibe. And you say you used to live in Washington Heights. I'm like, yo, I knew you had to be in Harlem.
I'm from East New York though. East New York, Brooklyn, all day long.
Yeah, I respect it, man.
Yeah.
I always saw he was a Harlem dude. I'm like, yo, he lives in the city somewhere. I know he lives in the city. In Harlem, you can't hear the cars honking and outside. You can't hear people screaming outside, but he's definitely in Harlem somewhere. He's chilling. That's how. And I'm like, yo, State works in a Harlem hospital. That's how I looked at it. Like, I'm like, yo, they live in the city life right now. Yeah.
I don't want to work in there. I'll come out of there with an extra arm or something.
See, Drip Morris from East New York.
Anybody from Queens? Anybody shout out to Queens? Anybody from Queens in here? No.
Well, I'm living in Queens. I actually lived in Queens for a little while too. I lived in Queens. I lived uptown. I live in Washington Heights for a little while. So I live a couple places.
I used to live in Brooklyn too. I used to live in Crown Heights.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I miss Brooklyn, man. East New York ain't nothing like East New York. Most people from East New York are just like me for the most part. Real chill cast. You meet them in person, chill. But then all of a sudden it's like, oh, what did I say? Oh shit! I'm sorry. What the fuck happened? Brownsville the same way. Flatbush, same vibes.
Seen that? That's funny.
Hey, look, Queens is trash.
The Queens is trash. Oh, here we go with the ish talk, man.
Yeah.
Bed-Stuy, we got some Bed-Stuys, Browns. That's what's up. Shout out to Brooklyn, man. There's most of the content creators is from Brooklyn, though, I will say. So that's what's up. Brooklyn's definitely representing the gutter, gritty, my gritty BK fans out there, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
I got a question for y'all. What the fuck happened to New York ballers, man? Like, why there ain't no real good basketball players coming from New York no more?
Yep.
Yeah, so these AAU guys that's like they're not like I don't know. You know what's funny? I feel like they're more so coming from upstate. Like you see Donovan Mitchell's from New York, but he's like more from he's from Elmsford, New York. AJ.
Even the WNBA players, freaking Sue Bird, I think she's from Long Island, but then it's the same thing. They're just from the outskirts. But remember, we was talking about hip hop in the beginning of the show. Like you're saying, like at a certain point, maybe like halfway through the 2000s, the South just took over and they never let go. Same thing happened. Like first, New York was the king of the point guard, right? Then out of nowhere, like people started going to Kentucky, Duke, just piling up, not just going there. It's like 7 top recruits all going to the same school. It's like, come on, when the fuck did this happen? Or like going to like Oak Hill Academy, and all these obscure places to go play basketball. Back in the days, guys used to go to Rice. Used to go to freaking Malloy. Malloy is in my neighborhood. People used to go to Malloy. They used to go to Christ the King. They used to stay home.
What's funny? That's why I went to camp. I went to basketball camp there. Both of them,
yeah. Yo, want to know what's so crazy? I went to Wadley. I went to Wadley on 114th and 8th Avenue. No, between 7th and 8th Avenue, and we used to go to Rice High School before it got shut down. Rice High School, 123rd and Lenox. We used to watch Kemba Walker, and Kemba Walker used to come to Millbank on 118th and 5th and play too. So
I played against. When I went to Christ the King, I played against Tobias Harris.
Tobias?
I went right at him. He like, yeah, play.
Yo, how tall are you, Cully?
About 6 feet, 6'1".
Okay.
Yeah, he was always tall too. Tobias was always tall. I feel like he had a little brother, but I can't remember. I went to what's his name? Son went there too. Speedy Claxton. Remember him?
Yeah.
His son went to Christ the King. There was a few ballers there that their kids went there when I was going there. And
Speedy Claxton's like my era right there. We kind of came up around the same time.
Yeah,
Speedy, nice.
Be like those dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like I missed those. Those were good. I was thinking about that. I was talking to somebody on the show, one of them shows. It might have been your show or somebody's. We were talking about New York ballers, Archbishop Malloy, because I think Cole Anthony went there. And I'm like, damn, yo, it makes me just think about all the times. Like you said, when you brought the music, I'm like, damn. Because at the time when I went to Christ the King, not to make it about me, I just want to say this one thing. When I went to Christ,
it's about you. What are you talking about? when I get the thumbnail, I'm gonna put your face right all over the thumbnail. So get ready for that shit.
No, but not to like take too much time off the Knicks. But like when I went to Christ the King, because I also went to St. Francis Prep. That was also a high school. I went to basketball camp there. When I went to them schools, the hottest song at the time was Hot in Her, Hot in Here, Nelly. All those songs was hot at the time. It was the summertime of that. And I'm just like, damn, those were good times, yo. And I was going to camp every day, getting up 8 a.m, had to be at camp for the whole day. Moms would come pick me up, or my brother, they'd pick me up. And I'm like, yo, those were good times. Like that was like the competitive, I was more competitive when I was younger. And I'm just like, damn. Like I was going at these guys, and I'm like, I fast forward, I'm like, yeah, well, some of these guys went in the NBA. I'm trying to think, there's a few other guys I played against. I just can't remember, yo. I'm just trying to remember. But Tobias is the number one I remember because he was tall.
The best guy that I ever had in front of me was Jamal Tinsley. He at the time, I went to Nazareth. Shout out to Brooklyn. I went to Nazareth. Nazareth, Christ the King. St. Francis Prep, all that stuff. They're all rivalry schools and stuff. But Tilden is like right up the block. So he was actually going to Tilden, but he wasn't playing for the basketball team. He was just a street dude that was man nice. So I remember you right across the street from Nazareth. It's like it's kind of famous. A lot of guys go to play ball there and stuff. So he was there playing. I remember he had a black hoodie on, black fatigues, Timberlands, whatever. And I never got my ass bust that bad by anybody in my life with Timberlands, black hoodie, and whatever. And I don't even think it was wintertime. I think it was like summertime. You know what I'm saying? And he just fucking bust my ass. All kind of tricks, and everything with Tim's. And like I said, he was just so good, but he wasn't even playing for the team. And then what was shocking to me is I saw him on Ohio State on TV. I said, "Oh shit, that's the motherfucker from the park." And shit. So he probably was the best guy that ever had in front of me. Eric Barkley's another guy that I played against too.
Jamal Tinsley He was like a street baller.
Yeah.
He was a legend. He was a
point guard, yo. He's a tough point guard.
A lot of people were looking out for him because they know he was nice, so they gave him opportunities and whatever. His last opportunity was to go to Ohio State, you know, and then he did his thing there.
He took advantage. Yeah, he took advantage, and he ended up. Yeah, he was. Yo, it's funny because there was so many good ballers in the early 2000s, yo. Just hoopers.
Yeah. Ed Cota, there's a lot of guys.
A lot of guys, yo, all from the hood. Like it's like wow.
Kenny Satterfield. I don't know if you remember Kenny Satterfield. He was nice too.
I heard the name.
He played for Cincinnati. He played with Kenya Martin and them. Yeah, Kenny Satterfield. He was nasty.
What about the other guy?
You know about Julius Hodge?
I heard. Yo, why does Julius Hodge sound wild for me? I think I heard that name. Yes.
He was nice. He was from New York.
Yeah.
Yes. It sounds familiar. And there was another dude that played on the Pacers too. It wasn't. Was it Foster? Not Bender. The one that was in He Got Game. That was on. He was on Ray Allen's team when he was in college.
Oh shit, Travis Best.
Travis Best. Yes.
Yeah.
Was he from New York too?
I don't think so. No, I don't think he's from New York.
He
might have been tri-state area if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he was solid too. That was another one. Another hooper.
What's his name? R.J. Barrett. Remember Andre? What's his name? Andre Barrett. He's from the Bronx.
Andre Barrett. Yes, it was Andre.
Felipe Lopez. He was nice.
Yeah, we were talking about him earlier for Sean Kilpatrick. Yeah, Sean Kilpatrick was another one.
Yeah.
Felipe Lopez.
A lot of guys.
I think they talking about me when they said Chico DeBarge. They trying. Everybody flaming me in the comments, man. I see it, man. But I'm laughing at it.
Yeah, that's that light skin shit, man. I'm with it, man. Whatever.
Chico DeBarge.
Yeah, somebody said like. So I just saw the comment. I was laughing at it to myself, man. To my Josh said like Tobias Harris. He said we went to private schools. You know, like M Court, Papa Doctor 8 Mile. He's a camp. I didn't go to a private school. This is a basketball camp, man. Yeah, man. I went against some ballers, man. It was fun. It was fun being young in New York, man. Just hooping. That's definitely a story to have. Everybody got to have a story when you was young from New York, man. You got a story that you met somebody or you played against somebody. Yeah. Travis Best is from Mass. Oh yeah, he is from Mass. You're right.
You know, an ill story for me. One time I was going to the park and some bald-headed white dude walked by, tall and shit, looked weird. So I just kind of like looked at him and I just went to the park. So when I get to the park, nobody's playing ball, but the park is filled. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on? They're like, yo, man, that was Steve Nash. You just walked right past him. I'm like, Steve Nash? He was bald-headed. He said, nah, I don't know. He shaved his head. That's when that summer when Steve Nash was walking around with a bald head in the summer. He was just pulling up to parks in New York City. So I had just missed him. You know, I think I stopped at the store and I missed him or whatever.
And it's funny because he probably could have went to Dykeman and probably lit it up, Steve Nash. He probably would have lit Dykeman up. Probably just chilling, like just on a pull-up jumper. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He used to play pickup soccer too. He used to play down in what do you call the LES, whatever, Chinatown. He used to go play soccer over there too.
Lower Manhattan.
I've been begging for R.J. Barrett to go to the Rucker Park or somewhere, go to Dykeman somewhere and showcase your skills.
Yeah.
I remember the last one I did was Trey Burke, right? Trey Burke was the last Nick to do it.
Yep.
Trey Burke with a bag. That's when I'm like, oh, okay, he really got a bag. I'm like, hold the fuck on, like. And I always knew he was balling, but I'm like, whoa, like. You know what I mean, and now Trey Burke, he got thrown. He go getting traded from team to team, but I mean, that's neither here nor there. Is what it is.
Yeah, his career is basically just about over anyway.
Yeah.
You know? But there's a lot of all these NBA players are nice. You know, no matter who we can mention, they always like extremely on top of the world in this and they're part of the world. They were the freaking man. You know, at one point. You know, there's so many different stories and stuff.
Right.
Even a guy like you know Bobito Garcia.
Yeah, Bobito Garcia.
Yeah, he was fucking nice, man. Like in the early 90s and stuff like that. I remember coming up, hearing about this dude, and he was nice too. He could have made it into the NBA, but he was into, you know, a whole bunch of different things. But he could have made it too. He was nice too.
Yo,
what about Joe Hammond?
Joe Hammond, yeah,
Joe Hammond.
Why every time I hear Bobito, you said Bobito Garcia, right?
Yeah. Why
every time I hear his name, I immediately think of Streets Volume 2.
Well, he was doing the voiceovers for that.
Yeah.
Commentary,
yeah. And then of course, hip hop wise too, he was part of the whole you know, underground radio stuff where he broke a lot of artists like Biggie and all those guys on the college radio in the early 90s.
DJ Red Alert when I think of him.
Yeah.
When I think of Bobito, I always think of DJ Red Alert. Yeah.
DJ Red Alert and all those guys, they were on the mainstream, but then Bobito, they had like their midnight show with Stretch Armstrong and all that. That was a crazy era too. Respect to like that's one thing about basketball and just talking about hip hop in general. Everybody's era, you gotta respect people's era, man, because you wasn't there. You can't say, "Oh, that shit was trash," or "That you mad old," and stuff. You gotta appreciate the era. You wasn't there, so you don't really know what's up. I can mention certain names. You guys were okay, cool. But then when you mention your names, your eyes light up, and you know whatever. So respect to the eras. Like let the people live their story. Let the young people tell their story. You know, the guys younger than us. Let them tell their story. Let them have them. But the same thing, young guys. You know, let the older cats tell their story too. You know what I'm saying? But we don't have to like bash each other over it.
That also reminds me too. You also had N1 that was connected. You know, all that stuff went hand in hand. Hip hop, N1, NBA, because you know NBA. You know, there was Kobe. Shout out to Kobe, rest in peace. He came down to Dykeman and balled out. You know what I mean? Was it Dykeman? It was Dykeman, right?
No, he went to EBC. He was in at the Rucker.
EBC, okay, EBC, okay. That's my mistake. My mistake. The Rucker. He went to the Rucker, right?
And it rained that day. I didn't think like I was gonna go up there, but it was raining, so I was like, he ain't gonna pop up in the rain. But he still played. He went out there and played in the rain.
Yeah, shout out to him for balling at the Rucker, the legendary, the legendary park. I like those old stories. Some people hate it now. Yeah, like you said, today's youngins would say, "Oh, it's trash." Nah, I love it, man, because I kind of like grew up on it. I grew up being a fan. You know what I mean? One of my step pops had passed away. He was a hooper. He passed away like some years ago. He was a bowler. He introduced me to all that stuff, man. It made me do my research. And it was a lot of NBA players came to the Rucker and lit it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was fun. It's just good to watch.
So shout out to the dude, what was his name, Lil whatever, that was like trolling us a little earlier. You know, I put him on timeout, and I guess he left or whatever, right? So I mean, the thing with him is like he's like, oh, the fantasy. Oh, you guys talking about the fantasy there? He's just trolling us, right? So whatever, man. You want to troll, have fun, you know. But the thing is, all this stuff, like when we tell these stories, like people never heard these stories, you know. So it could be entertaining to somebody and make you want to go, like you said, go do your own research and whatever. And then you know, you have to know your past in order to get, you know, in order to deal with your future. You say like right now, New York has been losing for like 20 years. As long as hip hop, you know, the down south and all that stuff has been out. So I mean, like you need to know the roots or whatever in order to find your voice, because now one section is up, so now you're only following that. Like what happened to your shit? You know, you had a culture too. You know, same thing with the Knicks. The Knicks had a culture, you know, before we started losing. Well, like, can we get back to that? You know, in order to go back to that, you have to go past the 20 years that we was bad. You have to look back on when we was good and like cherish that shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
All right, yo. Exactly. Yeah, those were JJP said Kobe balled in Harlem when it wasn't gentrified before the Whole Foods. Wasn't there a flea market, a fish market across from Rucker Park at the time? It was like a fish market that was always there for years, yo. And then you got to think about
from over there.
That's another thing, E-Rule, movies above the rim. You know what I mean? Certain movies, you know, refer back to that. It's like it's good times, yo.
Yeah, White Man Can't Jump. You know, Above the Rim, I think is probably like the best basketball movie. I think
that's one of my favorite. I love Above the Rim, yo. Dwayne Martin, Marlon Wayne. Shout out to them. My man Tupac, my twin, my birthday twin, Pac. You know what I'm saying? Like those were good times, yo. Good times, good movies, and yeah, those are basketball movies that, and it's all linked to the hip hop and to the NBA.
Yeah, to our history and stuff like that.
The history. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, so Mr. Cully, man, I think we're gonna cut it off before State come in, because State gonna pop in, and then we're gonna have to start another whole hour or whatever, man. So, you know,
no doubt, man, no doubt.
Thanks for popping in, man. Like I said, this is the first time me and you ever spoke to each other, but I feel like I've been speaking to you this whole time. There go State. Can you stay there? You go right there. You know what I'm saying? But you know, like I feel like I've been talking to you this whole time, back and forth, man. So that's the kinship, you know. My man, little Phillips. I hope you're not upset at me or whatever, man. But you're interrupting what's happening here, man. You got to see what I'm seeing. The vibe is here. Like I said, like I don't know this motherfucker for nothing, but I feel like you know, this is my we had got the connection with the Knicks or whatever, man. It's like, you know, we all brothers here, man. So.
Yeah, man. I shout out E-Roo for having me on the show, man. I'm appreciative, man. It was fun rocking out with him and State. You know, when State had pulled up.
State pulled up twice now. He's in here in two spots now.
Yeah, We got somebody else? That's what I'm thinking.
No, that's State. State is in there twice.
Yeah, man, it's fun rocking with y'all, man. Like I try to listen to every show. No, you're not interrupting, Lily. You know, we're all Knicks fans here. We're all Knicks fam.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, he got game. Yeah, shout out Boulevard. Yeah, you know, it's fun rocking on talking Knicks basketball. You know.
Yeah. So State, yo, we're gonna wrap it up. State, you got any closing thoughts, man? Closing arguments and shit like that?
Go get Jaden Ivey.
Simple as that, right? Just go get Jaden Ivey.
Go get Jaden Ivey, man.
Thank you, B. Willis. Yeah, yeah, Lily, I know you. Shout out Rob Diaz. Shout out everybody that tuned in, man. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Yeah.
Y'all basically up here with two. Maybe not visually, but y'all up here with us too. You know what I mean? Shout out Josh. What did Josh say? Josh said some slick shit, man. Let me look, man.
Josh is always saying slick shit, man. Yo, shout out to.
He's replying to Big Shiesty. What did Big Shiesty say that Josh agreed and said he is? He probably said I look like somebody. AI, okay, never mind. AI was the one who really pushed hip hop. Did he? I guess so. Yeah, I guess. AI. Well, you know what it is. AI stuck true to himself. That's what it was. AI was true to himself.
Yeah.
So that's what that was. Josh definitely works for ESPN. I can see him up there now with Stephen A.
That was his first nickname in ESPN Josh.
ESPN Josh. I'm gonna start calling him that now. Yeah.
As soon as he pops in, you know.
Yeah, that's funny as hell. Yeah, that's how Josh's show. Shout out to Josh and Josh's show. Josh does his thing over there, MBK. Yeah. Shout out Josh too. That's how the intro for Josh. His show should start. The controversy.
Yeah.
Had the ESPN start off. But yeah, man, I'm gonna go get some more wine.
Yeah, I meant to ask you that. What are you drinking? What's
man? Taylor Port.
Okay.
Not the expensive one. Taylor Port, man. Yeah.
Okay. I'm sober now, man. I ain't drinking no more.
Keep drinking Taylor Port.
So what?
Keep drinking Taylor Port. Go ahead.
Nah, I'm gonna leave it alone until July 4th, man. I'm trying not to drink. I'm only drinking because it was in the case. I wasn't gonna drink tonight, but when you asked me, I'm like, man, fuck, I'll get some wine. But I'm gonna chill out all the way until July 4th, man. I'm trying to, change my diet a little more. Stop drinking. Because I'm alcoholic at times, so I'm trying to stay off it and just work out. So.
Yeah, I gave up alcohol for this year because I'm supposed to be training for the New York City Marathon. I literally got to start training like ASAP because I'm reaching a point where I have to start, physically training every single day for it. You know what I'm saying? Because you need 18 weeks straight training for it. So I'm not going to drink until I pass the finish line. When I pass the finish line, just keep an eye out, in the local hospitals and stuff like that because I might pull up somewhere, without my ID or something fucked up.
Oh, okay. I didn't want to say out of breath. You might pull up. You might need
I might be butt naked, with a bottle of that shit you drinking in my hand. You know what I'm saying?
Teleport keeps you right, man. I'm about to have some more. I'm gonna chill out for a while, man.
All right, man. So before I get in my feelings again, like Lily Phillips is saying, I'm in my feelings, right? So we're gonna say good night to the chat. Thanks for tuning in. Lily, please subscribe, come back, man, so we could talk some Knicks, get to know me too. Because it is what it is. We all family when it comes down to it. Allah Wise, shout out to Allah.
Shout out to Allah Wise, Bodega. That's another thing. I am Gerald said I ain't give up nothing. Drinks are fun. Draft night, I may drink too. I'm gonna try not to. Draft night is one of those nights too where I gotta drink heavy. So I'm gonna try to chill out. Maybe Thursdays are 50-50.
Nah, draft night, I will not be sober, bro.
Yeah, because I need something because if the Knicks make me mad, I gotta be some type of drunk, man, so they can put me to sleep. I'm
gonna be the only one sober. If you watch some sim show, because I'm gonna be there for at Atlantic City, whatever. So if you're there and you watch the crowd, you're gonna see me just like this. Everybody's gonna be drunk, and I'm just gonna be like the only one not drunk. Let's just like, did that just happen? Did that we just do that?
Yeah, I gotta be ready. Thank you, Alton Lee. Shout out Boulevard Illmatic. Salute, man. We thank y'all for tuning in. Shout out my guys again, E-Rule and Steve. Pleasure being on with y'all tonight, man. And salute. We get on again soon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So first it was Stop Videos. Now it was Sully, man. I appreciate both of you guys, man. Great teammates. Derrick Rose, Taj.
Not to cut you off. It's Cully, man. Not Sully. It's Cully.
Oh, Cully? Yo, my fault, man. I'm horrible with him.
You turn him into a 70-year-old white man like this, you know, just because he's light skinned. Now he's 70 years old and white now. God damn.
Right, Cully.
Yo, all right, yo, I'm gonna see y'all, man.
Like a lobster fisherman and shit now. All right, man. See you guys later, man. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for popping in, Sully. I'm about to call you Sully.
Nah, it's all good, bro. Yo, pleasure to be on, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Peace, y'all.